So as the Champions League anthem starts up at Stamford Bridge, we can head there for commentary of Chelsea against Borussia Dortmund with Lee Dixon and John Murray.
Well, thank you, Kelly, and welcome everyone inside Stamford Bridge on a cold March night. But we've got a match for you tonight, a Champions League match where it's all on the line. The teams are out. We actually had a chaotic entrance by the two teams, who I think were sent in the wrong directions and ended up having to... It was like watching line dancing. They were crisscrossing along.
It's not the hardest thing to do, walk out of a tunnel onto the pitch, is it?
Footballers. It can be very complicated. Anyway, they eventually got into position and are now going through the handshakes and the pre-match photographs. And it is on the line. Chelsea's further progress in this competition. 10th in the Premier League currently, so this could be tonight their last involvement in this competition, well, until at least the season after next, unless they can turn this around, this 1-0 deficit against what is currently one of Europe's most informed top football teams, having won 10 in a row. It's quite an ask, Lee.
No, it is, but it's definitely doable. I think with this crowd, the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. To our left, there's flares. I'm obviously not supposed to have flares, but there's yellow flares to our left, going off left, right and centre with the Dortmund fans, and the Chelsea fans are responding with a loud start to this game. Just before they kick off, there's a real atmosphere that's gone from the streets into this Stamford Bridge Stadium.
Yeah, they've brought in, there are thousands of Borussia Dortmund fans, and they've brought in many pyros, as they call them. They're smoke bombs. One of them's been thrown onto the pitch. Here comes another one now, being thrown onto the pitch there, flashing away on the pitch surface and smoking away. Meanwhile, in the stands, yellow smoke. Borussia Dortmund yellow smoke is absolutely spewing out of various canisters. I mean, there must be 7, 8, 9, 10, and that is filling the stand, the shed stand to our left. I mean, it is thick in there.
This game's not going to start. There's 10 minutes delay, but I'm not sure how they can start with fireworks still flying onto the pitch at the moment.
Well, we've already had a delay to kick off because of problems with the Borussia Dortmund team coach getting to the ground. These are the teams tonight then. Kepa in goal for Chelsea, Kepa Arrizabalaga. 3 central defenders, Fofana, Koulibaly and Cucurella coming in. Reece James fit to play on the right, Ben Chilwell on the left, Fernandes and Kovacic in the middle. Kovacic is the captain. Then João Felix, Kai Havertz and Raheem Sterling. And Borussia Dortmund with second choice Alexander Meyer in goal. Then Wolf, Zula, Schlotterbeck and Guerrero, the back four. Emre Can, the former Liverpool man, in the middle. Jude Bellingham, the big rising star, the England man, and Saleh Özcan in midfield. Julian Brandt on the right, Marco Reus on the left, and Sebastian Haller, the number 9. No Mason Mount, he's suspended. Likewise, Julian Ryerson is suspended, and Borussia Dortmund also without Adeyemi, who scored the only goal of the tie so far. And despite those clouds and clouds of yellow smoke, the referee, Danny Macaulay, one of the most experienced referees, the Dutchman, blows his whistle, and we get underway. And I mean, I can feel it in my throat, the smoke. And if I look to my left towards the shed stand, I mean, it's like looking through a traditional London pea super.
Well, let's hope most of the ball at the moment is in the Chelsea half, because we can't actually see the other end of the pit. But the goals are nearly covered up with the smoke. And as you said, John, it's actually into the main stand where we're sitting.
Yeah, it is. So it's a busy-ish football night tonight. We'll keep you across it all. No goals yet in the Championship. And in League One, I see Barnsley are now 2-0 up on Portsmouth. But it is a 5 Live final score night tonight, so you can listen to our Champions League commentary alongside the final score graphics and the video printer, much more as well. If you press the red button or go to the BBC iPlayer, BBC Sport app, look for 5 Live final score, click on it and you'll find it there. Borussia Dortmund have won an early corner. This is a worry from the right. Brandt to take it, the blonde-haired Brandt. Corner to the near post, which is half cleared, then headed away by Havertz for Chelsea and cleared away to the edge of the area. Already tense here, moments like that. And now it's Jude Bellingham, brilliant play, goes past Kovacic, but then Koulibaly steps in and wins it back from Bellingham, and Havertz plays it forward to Sterling, and Sterling approaches the penalty area. Goalkeeper's come out, now he's gone back. Sterling delays, and he doesn't even get the shot in. The defender came across, shot a back, and got a touch, and that's a big disappointment.
Well, what a break from Chelsea, but what Sterling was doing when he got through, he looked like the linesman's flag was going to go up. It was marginally onside, I think, but as he broke into the smoke, he seemed to lose his way. And I know that sounds silly, but it was so thick at that end that the keeper was off his line. Mayer was way out of his goals. He could have lifted it over his head, but he didn't. He waited and waited and waited and lost the chance, John.
We heard Rafa Honigstein before the game talk about Alexander Mayer, the goalkeeper, and this is only his 10th appearance for Borussia Dortmund. He is experienced, 31, but he's played most of his football in the lower leagues, Bundesliga 2. It's Peterborough 1, Shrewsbury 1. Tom Flanagan scored that one. But there was real indecision when Mayer came out, stopped, went back, but Sterling wasn't able to take advantage.
Well, Schlotterbeck and Zula deciding to play a high line, and Sterling was right on the shoulder. We were right in line with it. We looked at the linesman's flag. Was it going to go up? And it didn't go up. And he just seemed to just lose his way and hesitate. You can't do that one-on-one. Sterling's normally good on goal. He goes right towards the goals as fast as he can, but he just slowed down on the edge of the box.
Raheem Sterling lacking a bit of confidence in front of goal. His last goal was New Year's Day. Oh, and Brandt has sat down. This would be a blow for Borussia Dortmund if he's got a problem, one of their most informed players.
No, yeah, two of the players have just gone to have a look at him, and they've both done the signal to the trainers that he's gonna go off. Substitution already, and this frantic action going on the Dortmund bench trying to get somebody, and that is a blow, because he is a proper player, really good in form as well.
Well, they've lost Adeyemi on one side, and it looks as though they're going to lose Brandt on the other side. And yes, they've got Marco Reus, the captain, who can come in, and that yellow smoke is just now, it's actually right across the stadium now, but it's thinned, so it's like, instead of a pea super, it's now like a fine coastal mist.
I wondered where you were going with that then.
It's a free kick to Chelsea on the right-hand side. It's a big match, so we've got a big match man with us tonight. It is a pleasure, and quite a rare pleasure, Lee Dixon, to have you with us on 5 Live for a night like this, but it's very good to have you with us. Lee, former England man, Champions League player, winner with Arsenal. Brandt has got to his feet now. Well, that looks like it could be hamstring, the way that he's walking there. It's a pronounced limp, and he's walking off the field. So while he does that, let's get an update from our featured match in the Championship. An 8 o'clock kickoff, Reading Sheffield United. Aaron Paul.
Reading 0, Sheffield United 0. Another big chance for the visitors. Oliver McBurney making a great run at the back post. Illiman and Jai finding him with the cross. McBurney searching for his 13th goal of the season, planted his header straight into the arms of Joe Lumley, returning in the Reading goal. Reading 0, Sheffield United 0.
That is the end of Brandt's evening. Less than 5 minutes on the clock, and the German international Brandt is off. And Giovanni Reina, the United States international, the Sunderland-born son of Claudio Reina, who you'll have played against, Lee, I would have thought, is on. Free kick for Chelsea, played to the back post. Koulibaly was after it, but couldn't get a touch on it, and it bounces out of play for a throw-in to... in fact, it must have taken a touch off a Borussia Dortmund head. It's a throw into Chelsea, level with the edge of the Borussia Dortmund box.
Yeah, it was a good header. Far post, right back position. Wolf, he just got something on it. Koulibaly was coming over the top of him just to get that header in, but the defender just got his, looks like a top knot. His hair's a little ponytail. Looks very, very similar to
Erling Haaland,
a player that left this club not long ago. I thought it was him. I thought he'd come back for a guest appearance.
Well, they wouldn't say no to that. So it is 0-0. Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. Remember, the away goals rule doesn't exist anymore. Long ball downfield for Chelsea to chase, but that's given us a free kick for a challenge. Well, both Havertz and Sterling were there. And Chan bringing it forward from the back. He's given it away. Sterling now turns, gives it to Felix. Joao Felix into the box. Oh, lovely turn. Could be in. Goalkeeper comes out and makes a very good block at his feet. And the ball bounces away, corner.
Absolutely brilliant block, and a win back from Cucurella. He got really tight on his marker. The ball fell to Sterling. First time ball to Joao Felix, and that little drag to his left foot just dragged Mayer off the line, and he couldn't quite get to the ball before the goalkeeper.
This is a really promising start, you know, to the match in terms of the action that we've seen. It's a really good first leg. Chelsea played well in that first leg. Don't forget, even though they lost it. Corner, Chilwell to take it for Chelsea to the back post, and Koulibaly, he got there 8 yards out, stretching for it, and couldn't direct it on target, headed it 6 yards wide.
Yeah, free header, got away from his marker around the penalty spot, and he almost had too much time in the end, and he just put it wide, stretching for it. There's no need to, there's nobody near him. But a great start from Chelsea. They've been on the front foot, they've closed down Dortmund, but they've also, John, hit 2 or 3 long balls over the top, trying to stretch the back line of Dortmund towards their own goalkeeper.
Made a very good save though, Maya, against João Felix, quickly off his 6-yard box to the right, and dived in. Brave goalkeeping actually as well, decisive, dived in at the feet of João Felix, and conceded the corner.
Bellingham, no, it's not Bellingham, sorry, it's Haller just took one to the back of the neck, right on the halfway line. I think it was Koulibaly came into the back for the challenge.
It's just rubbing the back of his neck, Sebastian Haller. It's now Plymouth 0, Derby 1. That is one of the big games of the night in the Football League. Plymouth in second, Derby in fifth. Chelsea breaking forward with Havertz, shoots wide. He had defenders either side of him, and the angle was tight, but he couldn't get a shot in on target. It was well wide actually in the end.
Well, again, brilliantly won back in midfield, João Felix, and he just lifts the ball over the top. Havertz through on goal again, but you have to say Chan did ever so well. He just leaned into the back of him just as he was taking the shot. It's not a foul, he just put him off balance. And another chance for Chelsea. They're all over Dortmund at the moment.
Yeah, need to get that goal though. That would be a real settler to get an early goal, and they've had a couple of chances. Havertz with just 1 goal in his last 12 appearances for Chelsea. João Felix has gone down. He was over here on the left-hand side, the Chelsea left, next to the touchline, and he's gone down and he's feeling his calf, right side of his knee.
Well, he tried to keep the ball in play, and the AstroTurf literally goes right up to the touchline here at Stamford Bridge, and it's a little bit harder than the pitch, and his foot just slipped on the plastic surface, and he's just clattered his right knee onto the ground.
He's okay, and he's continuing, and Borussia Dortmund have the ball inside their own penalty area. Chelsea, first choice colours here at Stamford Bridge, blue shirts, blue shorts. Lovely skill from Kovacic, a little flick, and then he tried to play it forward for the run of Chilwell, but the cover was there from Borussia Dortmund. Chan back in his own right back area, but then knocks it out of play, throwing to Chelsea. Cucurella takes it to Kovacic. Kovacic, who is the Chelsea captain tonight, plays it back to the halfway line. In the first leg, the captains were Thiago Silva, who's now out injured, and Jude Bellingham. Here's João Felix to the left-hand side. Chilwell with a cross. That's headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Zula. Borussia Dortmund, then Bellingham is caught. Cucurella came in at pace. Bellingham had got a touch on it, and he was caught there, and referee Macaulay had to be thinking about possibly a yellow, but it's just a warning for Cucurella.
Yeah, he was clever there, Bellingham. He knew he was going to get to the ball first, and he just let Cucurella come into the challenge, and then just let his leg hit his knee and took the challenge. He knew he was going to get a foul, sort of 5 to 10 yards outside his own box. Very clever play, just drawing the foul and relieving the pressure, and there has been pressure. Chelsea pushed the front three onto the back four of Dortmund and really put them under pressure.
0-0, still early stages here. 8:10 kickoff, delayed kickoff. Chelsea with it on the right-hand side, but Havertz runs it straight behind, under pressure for a goal kick to Borussia Dortmund. So just to restate it, if you've just come in cold to this, Chelsea 1-0 down from the first leg, but Chelsea, who've scored just 2 goals in their last 7 matches, and if they want to win this without recourse to penalties, they're going to have to score a couple of goals tonight, and they've not scored 2 goals in a match in their last 12 matches since December. Not scored 2 goals in a match in 2023. Grimsby Town 1, Newport County 0. That is the first goal of the night in the matches in League 2. Just to restate, Plymouth 0, Derby County 1 was the latest score at home park. Chelsea breaking away. Kovacic, actually, I think he might have kicked the ground first and passed the ball straight to Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea supporters thought they were away there. Wolf on the right-hand side, infield towards Chan. Little ball forward from him, and then out to the right-hand side, and Borussia Dortmund just settled. Zula forward, Chan just moving around, gliding around, just right at the centre circle. Now it is the right back, Wolf, with that blonde hair tied tightly back. Chan with his glistening black hair under the Stamford Bridge floodlights, plays it forward. Now Chan to the right again, Wolf, but Chilwell forces him to go back into his own half, and Chan has almost dropped in between the two central defenders who've gone wide. And Chan played in the Champions League final. His last appearance for Liverpool was the Champions League final, that famous final in Kiev, and they go all the way back to goalkeeper Maya, long and left-footed from him to the halfway line. Bellingham gets up, heads it here to the right-hand side, where Reina plays it forward. Allaire was challenged. Cucurella slides in on the challenge with Reina to put it out of play for a throw to the visitors. The team that is currently in second place in the Bundesliga, level on points with the leaders Bayern Munich, but they've not won the title since Jurgen Klopp's days. Chelsea playing it forward from the edge of their own penalty area. It's very tight in there. Cucurella forward, and then bounces off Felix, who wins a free kick, in fact concedes a free kick, bounced against his arm. Free kick to Borussia Dortmund. Lee Dixon.
Yeah, good pressure. Every time a canary yellow shirt gets the ball, there's a blue shirt within 2 or 3 yards moving forward onto the player with the ball, and they're just forcing the issue a little bit. Dortmund's passing is a little bit off. They want a free kick there, a handball, and it's an area that they've taken a short one, John.
Yeah, they have to Royce, who's on his right foot here with the cross into the penalty spot, but that was headed away quite with good distance for Chelsea to the halfway line. Now back to the right-hand side. Royce is still here. Low ball in. Bellingham. One touch, then the second out to the right-hand side. Wolf with the cross, but it's over Allaire. However, headed away over on the far side and out of play by Reece James for a throw into Dortmund near the corner flag on their left, in front of the Matthew Harding stand. Stamford Bridge absolutely packed tonight, but the noise that you can hear is coming from those Borussia Dortmund fans. And Dortmund now with Bellingham centrally, turns, very nearly dispossessed there, goes back to the halfway line. Now it's been brought forward from the back by Zula, the ball to the edge of the penalty area. Chelsea can't clear, but that's won back by Chan, who then is into the challenge on Sterling. I thought Sterling was the favourite to get that, but it was won back by Chan, and Borussia Dortmund have got it.
He didn't fancy it, did he, Sterling?
He did not.
Chan looked like he was going to go in all the force he had, and Sterling just chose to just dip out of that one. I'm sure his manager will be too chuffed about that.
Well, after that storming start, Borussia Dortmund feels sort of exerted control here now, and here is Bellingham. Bellingham is challenged by James, and Chelsea with Havertz, but then they lose it. Misplaced pass over on the far side, and Borussia Dortmund coming forward with it on the left-hand side. Little ball into the edge of the box. Reina is there. Reina back centrally, and he was fouled. Wolf was getting ready perhaps for a shot, but the referee brought it back for the foul on Reina and gives Dortmund the free kick, left of centre.
Yeah, it's a dangerous position as well. For Fafana it was, it just left a little bit on him as he made the pass. The pass got to its target, but the referee spotted the free kick, and it's probably 8 or 9 yards outside of the box, directly opposite.
Good position this. Royce, I think, likes the look of it. He's got the ball in his hands. The experienced, much injury hit Marco Royce, 33 years old now. Referees involved in the wall. So we're going to have a Borussia Dortmund false wall in front of the real wall, which is, there are going to be at least 5 of them in that wall, and a Chelsea player, Felix, has joined the Borussia Dortmund wall of 2. which is 3 yards in front of the... And Chan is saying that Felix is not 10 yards away.
Well, he can't be.
And he can't be, because he's in the...
He can't be in the false wall, because that's 3 yards in front of the real wall, which is 10 yards away from the ball.
And Dortmund, Reina has walked across there, and he's pointing at Felix, and he's saying he can't be here.
I don't think... I can't understand how Felix is still standing 8 yards away from the ball, which is ridiculous.
10 yards away. Royce then with the free kick. Oh, good save, Kepa. That was bang on target from Royce. Super free kick. He had to be sharp there. Kepa leapt to his right, pushed it away.
Oh, while we're talking about the wall, it was nowhere near the wall. It was beautifully bent over the top of it, and Kepa saw it late because he was way onto his left-hand side of his goal. It's a great save from him early in this game. His first thing he's really had to do.
Still 0-0 on the night. This is 5 Live from the BBC in the Champions League, and Chelsea under pressure now. Attack down the left-hand side that results in a corner. It was Guerrero pushing forward, and it's a free kick. It's a corner from the left-hand side. So a corner from the left-hand side. Sutton lead Crawley by 1-0 in League Two. Chelsea need to withstand this. Second goal for Dortmund would be big trouble. In it comes to the near post, and it's headed down and away. Alaa was after it, but Chelsea had men either side and were able to clear it away deep into the Dortmund half. Fofana just whacked it away downfield, comes back to the edge of the Chelsea box. Alaa, cushioned header to the left. Royce, a 1-2 there, and then in comes Fernandes to deflect it out of play for a throw to Dortmund. They're on top, Dortmund.
Yeah, they've just upped it, haven't they? He didn't really know what hit in the first 10 minutes of this game. Chelsea were all over him, every department of the pitch, winning it in midfield, balls over the top, round the corner, creating 2 or 3 chances. Now all of a sudden they're on the back foot, Chelsea. The yellow shirts are finding target after target, passing the ball away, lovely, a lot of movement off the ball. Just got to stay in the game at this moment. As you said, John, if they were to concede now, after the start they've had, it'd be a disaster.
Trouble, big trouble. They need to produce something really special then. Kovacic swivels and volleys the ball away from near his own penalty area, and it's headed back to goalkeeper Maya, who made that important save. West Brom 1, Wigan 0. So that is the first goal in the Championship tonight. West Brom leading Wigan by 1-0. Dortmund playing it forward, and then Fofana with a touch on that, bounces out of play for a throw to Dortmund on the far side. So Champions League tonight, Chelsea up against it. Champions League commentary tomorrow night, Tottenham up against it. We'll have commentary from inside the Tottenham Stadium this time tomorrow. Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton will be in the seats there. So that's on 5 Live, and then Thursday night, commentary from the Europa League from inside Old Trafford. Manchester United's first leg against Real Betis, and their first match since the extraordinary events of Sunday afternoon. It'll be fascinating to see how Manchester United respond to that.
Why, what happened?
Chelsea coming forward, ball played through the middle. Sterling needed to play the ball, he does in the end, but it needed a first time pass to James, who couldn't get there, and Borussia Dortmund were able to clear. However, Chelsea have won it back on the right hand side. Little loop pass and then stabbed forward, but that will just bounce through off Fernandes through to goalkeeper Maya. Again, Sterling just needed to be sharper there.
Yeah, he just looks like he's having an extra touch on the ball to try and work out where he's going to pass it. Normally his quickness of thought is one of his assets. He just gets the ball and he already knows what he's going to do with it, and that normally means he's going to dribble. The occasions he's got the ball when he was through on, he just didn't know what to do, and on that occasion the ball was out there for James. It was an easy pass, and he just took an extra touch on it. By that time, the closing down from Dortmund's really good, and he just give the ball away again. He just looks like he's a little bit dazed with the occasion at the moment, Sterling, which is, I don't know why that is. He's running around. When he gets the ball, his quickness of thought just isn't there.
Yeah, he's quite a confidence player, Sterling, isn't he? Just 2 goals for him in his last 18 Chelsea appearances. England squad gets named next week, incidentally, for the first Euro qualifiers. And I think that'll be one of the questions. Will Raheem Sterling be in it? One of Gareth Southgate's go-to men, and experience needed, we'll see. Anyway, Chelsea coming forward, Koulibaly finding Felix. Felix is leaned into by Chan, and that's a free kick. Felix went down. How much contact there was there? There was enough for a free kick.
Yeah. brilliant little flick from Koulibaly just inside, and Felix is just in that inside left position. As soon as he gets the ball, he's so direct, and he's been the one. He said that, he's just give the ball away with no pressure on him at all. He's trying to win it back now, but he seems to be the one that they're going to.
Yeah, Bellingham's fouled by Chilwell, so that's a free kick to Dortmund, halfway inside their own half. Halfway through the first half, still waiting for the opening goal of the second leg. Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. This feels good though, doesn't it? Big atmosphere. Borussia Dortmund fans, a huge help to that. Now the smoke bombs have cleared, and it's just got that feel about it, isn't it?
If they were to get a goal, Dortmund, I'm not wishing that at all, but if they were to get, I wonder how many flares they've kept back for a goal. I don't think we'll get to see them.
Yeah,
from here, certainly.
They will have. You're absolutely right. But it's got a brilliant feel. It's quite timeless, actually, isn't it, these days, to have a match like this, second leg of a European tie. It just feels there's that tension, there's the challenge on Felix, and the ball runs to Wolf, who's able to play it all the way back into his own penalty area. It's almost a phony war at the moment. Well, we're waiting, is there going to be a first goal? Who's going to get it? Dortmund in the famous yellow shirts with the black trim, black numbers on the back. I can see down there as he runs away from us, Emre Can, who turns and plays the ball back to his goalkeeper. So yellow shirts, black shorts, and yellow socks with a black trim. The Schwarz-Gelben, as they call them, the black and yellow, long and through the middle. Koulibaly gets up, heads it forward, and then Royce, but Cucurella's in, and that's given us a free kick. Or did he give it for the earlier challenge on Bellingham, perhaps?
Yeah, I think he did, but Cucurella didn't know that, and he's been the one really on that front foot. Every time the ball's gone into his man, and Royce is just sort of playing off him at the moment. He's been right snapping at his heels and trying to win the ball back and then push it into that midfield area so Chelsea can break.
Did you think tonight, Lee, that it would be Cucurella, left-sided central defender, Chilwell, left wing-back? What's the thinking there, do you think?
Well, I think certainly Chilwell's delivery.
Ball being played through the middle for Dortmund. It's cushioned back towards Royce, who's after it. And Koulibaly, maybe a little fortunate there to win that free kick. It was shoulder to shoulder. Koulibaly went down, but he's got the free kick.
Yeah, I think Fofana and Koulibaly was sort of focused to take up Haller in the centre. Cucurella can just help out on that left-hand side. He's not really going to mark anybody in as much as a big centre forward and helping out with Brandt, but they were to know that he was going to go off after about 5 minutes with a hamstring injury, so they've got a little bit of space down this left-hand side, and certainly they've linked up a couple of times. Chilwell's had a bit of ball on this left-hand side, but it's Felix the one that they're trying to get the ball to in the middle of midfield. He's the one that can create.
Fofana plays the ball forward, just his 8th appearance for Chelsea. The right-sided central defender, as he is tonight, scored the winner on Saturday here in the Premier League against Leeds United, his first Premier League goal for the club. Borussia Dortmund will win it back, and now Wolf plays it through to the edge of the box. Reyna's onto this, Kovacic has gone with him. Reyna plays it right across the 6-yard box. Bellingham couldn't get there, he was trying to, but James did well, actually, the two of them together, running, arms flailing, and in the end the ball just swept past them and Chelsea clear.
Kovacic is a lucky boy. He got caught sleeping there. The third man running was on that right hand side, Reyna, and he got goal side of Kovacic. He got into the box and then he was all over him. His hand was on his shoulder, and you could hear the Chelsea fans almost holding their breath. Don't pull him back, don't give a penalty away. And in the end he crossed straight across the face of the goal, and no one had anticipated Reyna's cross. It would have been a tap-in at that far post.
0-0 here at Stamford Bridge, still 0-0 between Benfica and Club Bruges in the other match in the Champions League tonight, so that's 2-0 to the Portuguese side on aggregate. It's still just the 1 goal in the Championship. Dike scored for West Brom, who lead Wigan by 1-0. And Borussia Dortmund with it on the halfway line. Former European champions, just like Chelsea. Dortmund winners back in your playing days in '97, when they were quite a force, weren't they, at that time, with Paul Lambert, one of their key men in midfield, famously knocked out Manchester United in the semi-finals and went on to beat Zinedine Zidane and Juventus in the final in Munich back in 1997. That's the only time they've been European champions. Chelsea twice winners of the Champions League. Here is Can, who was challenged by Havertz, fell awkwardly, wanted the free kick, referee's not interested, and actually in the end it's put out of play by Özcan so that they can check on Can. I see how he is. He's holding his face.
He looks like he's holding, I think it's his shoulder, but he was certainly doing the moving of the legs as if he was in a lot of pain, lying flat down, face down in the grass, and now he's rolled over and holding that left arm, but it looks like he's going to be all right.
Yeah, actually the referee put out a hand to help him up. We've had 26 minutes played here. There's going to be a stoppage for, there's instructions, drinks. The Borussia Dortmund coach, Edin Terzic, who he said he was going for dinner with Slaven Bilic last night. He used to work with him at Besiktas and at West Ham. He was one of his assistants.
And that was a happy dinner.
Well, perhaps Slaven Bilic didn't know what was coming today. If you've not heard the news, Slaven Bilic has been sacked by Watford today. Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. And on the subject of the Championship, what's happening? Reading, Sheffield United, Aaron Paul.
9 minutes to half-time, Reading 0, Sheffield United 0. Sheffield United really pushing hard when they attack the Reading goals. A ball's just been fired over the top by Jayden Bogle, but Reading looked threatening on the counter-attack. Andy Carroll, Andy Udon, Tom Ince, Shane Long, a real experienced quartet causing all sorts of problems. Ince playing a good ball into Udon. He got the ball into Andy Carroll, who managed to get some purchase on the header, but it glanced just wide of Wes Fotheringham's post. Reading spirited going forward, but lacking quality. Reading 0, Sheffield United 0.
Chan is okay, he's back on the field here. Still Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0, and it is Huddersfield Town 0, Bristol City 0 at half-time in that 7:45 kickoff. Chelsea with it on the right, ball played in, false clears, and then the shot, it's deflected right across the face of goal. Havertz with the shot, the goalkeeper and defender were there together, Schlotterbeck, and they came off and deflected across the face of goal. And wide, or did it?
No, it hit the post.
Hit the post.
Hit the post, John. It was a great ball from James from that right-hand side, right across the 6-yard box. It got cleared by a defender, straight to Havertz, and he just lashed it with his left foot, hit the bottom of the post, right along the line, nearly hit the other post and goes out for a goal kick. Another chance for Chelsea.
Well, you don't get much closer than that without it going into the back of the net. The defender and goalkeeper were there, but clearly you got the spot on that. Hit the bottom of the post, right across the line almost, and wide of the other post.
It just shows the spin on the ball, because the ball, as you said, bottom of the post, and then it went along the line. It looked like it was going to hit the other post, and left hand upright and go in the goal, but it spun around and then went out for a goal kick. It was just an incredible, instinctive lash at the ball with his left foot.
I have to say, Lee, you've seen and done most of it in football. When you've got a team that's struggling to score goals, as they come forward, Rice won't reach that, it runs over the dead ball line and behind. A team that's struggling to score goals, something like that happens, and you think, is it going to be our night?
They've had 2 or 3 of those tonight. Sterling one. Normally you'd see Sterling one-on-one like that and just finish at ease, but got caught in 3 minds, let alone 2 minds. Another chance just after that, and then that one against the post from Havertz.
Half an hour played almost. Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. 5 Live Sport, BBC Sounds as well. Take us with us, listen to the live radio via Sounds as the ball bounces out of play. Sterling put in the challenge, that's given us a throw into Dortmund. Half times in League One: Barnsley 2, Portsmouth 0, Cambridge United 1, Morecambe 1, Cheltenham 0, Lincoln 0, Ipswich 1, Accrington 0, Peterborough 1, Shrewsbury 1, and Wickham 1, Fleetwood 0. All half-time scores, almost half-time, where it's Plymouth 0, Derby 1. Free kick given Borussia Dortmund's way, that is a Havertz challenge. And half-times in League 2, Doncaster 0, Harrogate Town 0, Grimsby 1, Newport 0, Stockport County 0, Gillingham 0, Sutton United 1, Crawley 0, and Walsall 0, Bradford City 0. Here Borussia Dortmund bring the ball down the left-hand side with Schlotterbeck, who goes down rather awkwardly, went down rather easily, won the free kick. I think there was contact. Boos you can hear from the Chelsea fans over there in the East Stand, rows and rows of faces looking down on where Borussia Dortmund will have a free kick on the left wings. Lee.
Yeah, Graham Potter, I think, will be really pleased with how Chelsea have started. They took the game to Dortmund in the first 10 or 15 minutes, had a lot of possession, created 2 or 3 chances. Looked like they were mixing the game up, playing short, pressing Dortmund in midfield, trying to win the ball back, but also just lifting the ball around the corner and over the top for runners to make chances, but then Dortmund back in it, and now
free kick from out on the left, but Kepa comes and gets a sort of punch on that, to punch it away out to Felix, who inside his own half tries to slot a ball forward for Sterling to chase, but Maya, the goalkeeper, came out of his penalty area and headed it away downfield, and it's back with Kepa at the other end.
Well, Chan gave his goalkeeper a look and a half then, because he just let it go. Sterling was going to get there if the keeper didn't come, and at one point I think Chan thought he wasn't going to come, and he was like, what are you doing? In the end, he knew exactly the distances and just cleared the ball easily.
Enzo Fernandez near the edge of his own box plays it forward. Fernandez, as Reece James tries to take it on through the middle. Yes, that is a free kick. It took a moment, Danny McAlee, the referee, to give that after the challenge came in on James from Bellingham, I think it was, and it's a free kick to Chelsea right at the centre circle. Mentioned Benfica, they've scored against Club Brugge, Scott Parker's team, so I would think that's probably it. 3-0 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. Benfica will probably be the first team through to the last 8 of the Champions League. Long ball for Chelsea. Chilwell, first time ball across the box, knocked up in the air by Zula, headed away, then Kovacic with a volley, but he was waiting for it to come down, and he rather snatched at it just a little early, and that meant it was high and wide by 4 or 5 yards at both the left post and the bar.
Well, it looked great from here, didn't it? It's absolutely the technique of it, waiting for it to drop, and he seemed to hit it lovely, but a bit of a false angle. I think it was wider than it looked from here for certain. But again, Chilwell on this left-hand side, big switch ball. If they switch it early, because of the wing-back situation, they will get their wing-backs in. James on one side, Chilwell on the other. A free cross there to put the ball in the box, and it does ricochet to Kovacic, who gets that shot away.
Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0, as the referee brings play back. Chelsea were looking to play forward, but frustration there. It's Borussia Dortmund's ball out on the left-hand side. Remarkable, really, over the action that there's been in this tie, first leg and here. Been just the one goal so far.
Yeah, there was loads of chances in the first game, wasn't there?
Yeah, at both ends. Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. Chelsea have got to win this tonight. At the moment, it's a draw. That's not enough. Borussia Dortmund will be going through. Felix heads the ball across the halfway line. Fernandez now to Havertz, who turns. Havertz, Champions League winner, remember, the goal that he scored in Porto. Oh, and then Reece James, Sterling on his heels on the far side. James pass, straight out of play, and it's a throw-in to Borussia Dortmund. Comes to nothing for Chelsea again.
Yeah, I think the first pass should have gone to Sterling, who was wide of James, and then he can go on an overlap and keep the move going. But by playing short to James, he's then got to pass it to Sterling, and he's running at full pelt at that point, and it's a difficult pass to hit.
Fofana rather jumped into the challenge there, and that meant that Dortmund are away, but Cucurella comes across, gets a little touch on that. Fernandez now through to Havertz infield. Felix is there, quickly closed down by Zula, but Cucurella with a pass forward down into the full-back position. Sterling on the chase, Chan's gone there, Sterling's able to get a touch, and then Chan puts it out of play for a throw-in, and Borussia Dortmund fans down in that corner going absolutely, anything. Yeah. They are absolutely right behind their team here. They've come to support them, and support them they are. Cucurella back to Kovacic now. Kovacic just takes a couple of touches, then infield. Fernandez is there, then back towards the centre circle to Fofana. It's quite a trend in the game at the moment for players Jack Grealish style to play with the socks down their calves. You don't see many central defenders doing that, but that's the way that Fofana likes to do it, with those white socks down his calves. Kovacic back to Fernandez the other way around, socks right up over his knees. Now Havertz to Felix, 25 yards out, shoots, but a deflection right across the penalty area. Wolf can't keep it in, to corner to Chelsea, and now the home fans responding to all of that Borussia Dortmund noise. Corner Chelsea.
Well, Chan turned round to his fans just before when you mentioned it, and he was trying to get his fans going. On that occasion, Felix does the same thing, picking it up in that number 10 position, perfect, nobody on him, gets a chance to turn and get his shot away, and there's a few things being thrown at Chilwell from those Dortmund fans, which is unsavoury to say the least.
I'm not sure whether Chilwell might have had a look at them down there, and they've reacted, the Dortmund fans, to something that happened down there. Whether it's something Chilwell did or said, I don't know, but a couple of things have been thrown down, and Chilwell's ignoring it. Corner, Chelsea. Chilwell deep to the back post. Koulibaly with a touch, but that took it back to the edge of the penalty area. Kovacic couldn't get there, and Reina was able to clear. Benfica now leading by 2-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. So that's that. I don't think we're going to pencil their name in. I think we can pen it in now into the last 8. Roger Schmidt's Benfica team, who even though they've sold all of their, so many of their players, they just keep going, don't they?
It's a factory, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the Premier League. Roger Schmidt, he's got a burgeoning reputation, hasn't he, at some stage? And if they're any good these days, they end up here, don't they? Not necessarily here, I mean in this country, although
I don't think you're far off if you say here.
Actually, yes. Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. Well, it might have been quite perceptive there, you never know. Borussia Dortmund to the halfway line, bounces up to Allaire, and now Bellingham plays it over the top, hits the heels of Cucurella. In goes the challenge. Now Wolf plays an angle ball to the edge of the box, but James did well, anticipated that, put in the challenge on Özcan, and it was able to be deflected all the way back to Kepa. Still 0-0 on the night. Cucurella forward. Felix did very well there, and then plays the ball forward. I think Sterling was offside. Sterling takes it on into the box, and goalkeeper makes the save. No flag. Havertz, he'll go for goal. He scores! No, he doesn't. The flag is up now. Well, I think that flag could have come significantly earlier.
Like half an hour. I mean, Sterling made his run right in front of us. We're right along the line. He looked 3 or 4 yards offside. The referee lets him go. He gets his shot away, bounces back. Then all of a sudden, the linesman's still not got his flag up. And then an absolute curler into the top corner. He then decides to put it up. Just put it up in the first place. Save us all the trouble.
Well, Chelsea have got the ball in the net, I suppose. Good finish from Havertz from near the edge of the penalty area, in off the underside of the crossbar. But I think everyone knew that, well, certainly anyone who had an angle on it. Fairly tight, I'm being told. Fairly tight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how tight it is. Yeah, he's offside.
Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0, but obviously tighter than it looked to the naked eye. Chilwell now down the left-hand side, and Zula gives him a little push in the back. The Dortmund fans loved that, and the Chelsea fans up here in the top of the main stand are reacting to that as well. Quite a number of them on their feet supporting Chilwell. That's a little side story, isn't it, to this game? Chilwell and the Dortmund fans. So Chelsea 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. And Wolf keeps it under pressure from Chilwell, who went down. I think Wolf caught him. Referee's given the free kick. Chelsea fans love that. Free kick to Chelsea on the left-hand side. We are going to go back to Reading, Sheffield United, but I think we'll see what happens with this free kick first. So this is a chance, set-piece opportunity, Lee.
Yeah, it's about 10 yards, about 5 yards from the touchline, but 10 yards outside the box. So it's a perfect angle. Dortmund taking the line right along the 18-yard box. The penalty spot has got a target written all over it. If Chilwell could just bend the ball to that area and let everybody run towards the goal.
Be a good time to score. Chilwell plays it in. Oh, great delivery! Felix with a shot. Goalkeeper saves it. Comes out to James. James couldn't get there. Özcan was able to put in the challenge. And Dortmund have cleared, but good save in there in the middle of all that. Felix with a chance. Here he is again on the left-hand side. Felix curls it in right-footed. That's kneed away, I think, by Zula. And Dortmund will break. This could be dangerous. Özcan, Kovacic comes in, leans into him, bowls him over. It's a free kick on the halfway line. Kovacic turns to the referee and says, "What? Me?"
What a ball in the box from Chilwell, and what a miss from Koulibaly. What he's done, he's far post, he's got a tap in at the far post, there's no one near him, and he just gets his feet all mixed up. The ball kind of hits his heel and bounces completely the wrong direction, almost out the box again. And I'm just looking down at him now, and he's putting his hands in his head in his hands even. And he can't believe he's missed it.
And then after that, Felix with the chance that was saved by the goalkeeper. taking a long time, and in fact there's the yellow card. The Chelsea fans could see it was coming for Nicolas Zula, so time wasting. We all know the officials are well, they say that they are red hot on that at the moment, but he was here, and it's eventually the ball rolling out for a goal kick, so it's still 0-0, 4 minutes to half time. What a delicious ball in it was by Chilwell. Said it would be a good time to score a goal. I think for Chelsea any time would be a good time to score a goal.
Koulibaly just stayed at the far post on his own, and everyone sort of moved towards the ball as it was coming in to challenge for it. It went over everybody's head, and he was far post. There was no one near him. 6 yards out? Just let it hit your foot, it goes in the net, and he just somehow fluffed his lines, and he hit the back of his heel or something and bounced towards the edge of the box, and then the shot came in.
So still 0-0. West Brom 1, Wigan 0, half-time at the Hawthorns. Chelsea, Felix, now to Havertz, now to Chilwell, who blazed it wide, slashed at it actually. Zula slid in front of him, which forced him to take the shot, but it was out of control, wide goal kick.
Well, the defender's getting nowhere near that. Chilwell's just got to keep his head. It's on his favoured left foot. Just put your laces straight through it, and last minute he just leans back. He might have saw the yellow shirt coming in for the challenge, but he's not going to win the ball. His favourite.
Half-time at Reading.
Chance.
Aaron Paul.
Sheffield United 0. Ollie McBurney has had the best chance of the game for the visitors. Both sides lacking bite in the final third, though. Half-time 0-0.
Sutton now leading Crawley by 2-0 in League Two. So Sutton pushing for promotion and Crawley in trouble. Sutton leading 2-0. Half-time Plymouth 0, Derby 1. Cucurella playing it forward. And then Kovacic for Chelsea. And now Havertz is away from Wolf down the left-hand side. Had a little look in field, then checks back. Wolf is all over him, using his arms. Kovacic now. Özcan in with a challenge. Cleared by Zula. Chilwell takes it away from Özcan. Chilwell's cross. Sterling misses his kick. Still Sterling. Still! And scores! He got there in the end! Raheem Sterling rode his luck. Got the break of the ball. Lashed it into the Dortmund net, and it's 1-0 to Chelsea, and it's 1-1 on aggregate.
Well, the spirit of this Chelsea team is there for everybody to see tonight. They've been on the front foot, they've won challenges, they've been lucky at times in challenges. On that occasion, Kovacic wins the ball back, goes through about 6 different tackles, wins the ball back, the ball comes to Chilwell, he fires it across. Sterling fluffs his lines around the penalty box. It gets pulled back to him, but the ball's still at his feet. He takes another touch and then leans back and laces it into the top corner, into the roof of the net. And it's no more than Chelsea deserved. That's about the 6th chance they've had, and rightfully they go 1-0 up on the night.
Well, Chelsea finally get a break in front of goal, and Sterling, who's not had a good first half, Raheem Sterling, and very nearly didn't take advantage there. And actually at the other end, a blue Chelsea smoke bomb's been thrown onto the field. So Royal Blue is belching out of that pyro that's actually been kicked off the pitch by Koulibaly.
The referee just having a word with him, because the players are not allowed to touch them. They're supposed to leave them for the fire officer to come and take control of that. But Koulibaly said, you know what, we're 1-0 up, we've got the momentum, I don't care what you say, ref. That's going off the pitch with a thump from his right foot.
Yeah, if only he'd caught that earlier chance like that. Kovacic through the middle, but it's cleared away by Chan, and that's away downfield. And Koulibaly is going to chest it back to Kepa. Not sure what all of the urgency was there from Koulibaly. There's no Dortmund player within 30 yards of him. And
I think Kepa was telling him there was nobody there. He said, take your time, you're all right. And he nearly sort of chested it past him, didn't he, on the edge of the box.
I think there's a bit of adrenaline coursing through the body of Kalidou Koulibaly. But Chelsea are in front. First goal was going to be tremendously important tonight. If Dortmund had got it, 3 minutes of added time being played at the end of the first half. But no, it's Sterling who scored it, Chelsea's leading scorer. And now James with a low cross in towards Havertz. But the cover was there from Chan to to steer it behind. Corner Chelsea from the right. Be a good time to score a second goal.
The first 15 minutes, Chelsea were all over him, and they're all over him again in the last 10 minutes of this half.
Taking a short corner, Chilwell drives it in. Fofana was out there, involved in the corner. Fofana's ball in. Fernandes, Fofana back to the edge of the box. Kovacic curls it in, and a hooked effort goalwards, actually well wide. Really, Havertz on the fall.
It's great football, John. It really is. Short corner. They play it brilliantly well. Little 1-2 into the box and then pull back to Kovacic, who just lifts it to that far post, and Havertz decides to try an overhead kick. Quite ambitious, but the way things are going at the moment, Chelsea are trying everything. They played really well in this first half. They deserve the lead, and we've got a proper half of football coming up after the break.
Yeah, it's very like the first leg, isn't it, actually, in terms of the flow of the match. Both teams have had spells. Chelsea have had more of the chances. Kepa made a very good save, we shouldn't forget that, from the Royce free kick. But Chelsea could be clear, actually, but just the one goal so far. Havertz forward to the goal scorer, Sterling. Now 7 goals this season, being leaned into and losing possession to Schlotterbeck, and then it's cleared away downfield and headed out of play for a throw to Dortmund. So half-time approaching. Graham Potter down there, for him looking quite animated, actually, with instructions being sent out onto the field. Most of the players are on the far side at the moment. Bounces back, Dortmund taking it on. Koulibaly put in the challenge. The ball runs to the edge of the D, and Özcan being chased by Cucurella, whose hair is all over the place as the two of them run shoulder to shoulder. And then Royce in on the challenge. Bounces to Bellingham. Bellingham's little ball through, and a crucial interception from Chilwell, who came across just as, I think it was Chan, wasn't it, in the penalty area, who was just about to shoot there, and Chilwell, crucial.
Well, that's sometimes as a wing-back, you're left really wide on the pitch, defending somebody out there, but he chose to do his job. And they've swapped with Cucurella, so he's like left-sided centre-back, and that made him narrow. And that was a goal-saving challenge, that was.
Yeah, on Guerrero, wasn't it? Guerrero it was who was breaking into the penalty area, and he saw the goal in his sights, but Chilwell had other ideas. But now Bellingham, who played a brilliant ball actually in the middle of all that. It was his ball through, wasn't it, to Guerrero? And that's it, that's the half-time whistle. And Chelsea lead by 1-0, and this, Lee Dixon, is rather exciting.
Oh, it's been a brilliant half for Chelsea. They started the game supremely well, and then Borussia Dortmund got back in it. They had a 10 and 15-minute spell where they had control of the midfield, but Chelsea bounced back. Their energy, their enthusiasm, their hunger to try and win this game is there for everybody to see. They can't have been, I haven't seen an awful lot of Chelsea games live, but they can't have been playing like this every week, otherwise they'd be way up the league. Really good performance so far.
Yeah, that's a big half for Chelsea, big half for Graham Potter. They've got the opening goal, Raheem Sterling scoring it shortly before half-time. Fortunate, really. Had an element of fortune the way he got a second chance to shoot again and then did take it. But it feels like that's an important half for Chelsea and Graham Potter, and the next one will be a really big one as well. Half-time, though, Chelsea are in front on the night, and the tie is all square, 1-1 on aggregate.
John Murray and Lee Dixon at Stamford Bridge for you. We'll be back with them for the second half very shortly. Mario Melchior is also with us. Mario, we had a message in on social media from Kark saying, I've never seen a team so unlucky in front of goal. Absolutely nothing goes in for them. So it was ironic that there was a stroke of fortune in the way that Raheem Sterling missed the first shot and then was brilliant for the second to put Chelsea in front.
It was unbelievable. You know, like moments like this, like I said, how quick can you score a goal? And you could see, you know, one of the key things in this game is that you're meeting a very confident German side against a Chelsea side that has to win. So the game is kind of open because of that reason. And then seeing them going at each other, but then the opportunities, like you said, you know, Sterling once, then Havertz, you know, with the offside moment, and then the moment of Sterling scoring. When you score at the Bridge at this point, oh my God, it's unbelievable as a player.
It is, and we saw the celebrations, not just from the Chelsea fans, but all the Chelsea players surrounding Raheem Sterling. You could see the spirit and the determination within them to win this tie. They're level as it stands on aggregate. They need one more goal to get through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I just wonder, Mario, how much the jeopardy of this game plays into the performance, that in the league, when you're sort of mid-table, you're not really sure what you're fighting for. It's difficult to get that extra edge that we've seen from Chelsea tonight.
It's look, a lot of people will be surprised and they say like, oh, it's not like that, or it's not important. No, the 1-0 win, what they had before, you understand, in their own league, in the Premier League, and then going into the Champions League where you have a must-win game. Moments like this is that, you drive off that confidence, and I think that's what Chelsea players used. The coach used that too. It lights up. We can say like, oh, it's only one game. Yeah, it's only one game. But one game does a hell of a difference to any human being that wants to perform at the best of their best.
The amount of chances that they've been able to create. When we talked before about Chelsea not being able to convert their chances, but this game, they haven't played at this level for a long time.
No, definitely not. No, you know what the thing is? I think the spirit is different. The energy is different. Of course, we know that some key players came back in the side, and that makes a hell of a difference. But the key thing now is that how long can you drive on and keep making the belief? Because we're only playing one half, guys. In the German side, we don't want to get carried away, because Germans are very, very good at that. And coming back into a game, and their self-belief is stronger than... we can talk about football, we can also talk about a country, because it's right next to my country. So we know about their self-belief a lot. So that's why I'm always cautious with them. And as long as Chelsea, I don't have a feeling that they cannot get the second, but at least now I'm seeing a different one. I'm seeing a hungry Chelsea, and one that wants to do well at the bridge, and that's very important.
Having said that, as you pointed out, this is a Dortmund side who will feel they can get back into this game, and there were just a few warning signs for Chelsea throughout that half, particularly that chance at the end.
Yeah, definitely. You always got to be careful, because they're always going to get opportunities. Of course, they got a quick injury, when Brandt came off, and the new players, that whoever comes in this side, it always has that they have a compact and an understanding together of knowing what they have to do, and that's why I'm always worried about them. Haller, of course, that story, you understand, of his, the illness that he went through, and then he battled that and come back. People like that are mental strength, and I think the Germans are very good at it. The mental strength of them is on another level. But now they're facing a Chelsea side that is hurting too, and wants to make sure they get back on track. So that's why this game is so open and enjoyable to watch, because the first one is almost no different than the one that we are watching right now, because everybody wants to watch football games that are open, but we don't always get the opportunity to watch.
Yeah, there have been plenty of chances in this first half, but Chelsea have taken theirs. Raheem Sterling's goal separating Chelsea and Dortmund at the break. It's 1-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night at Stamford Bridge to Chelsea. Mario Melchiot is going to be back with us at full time. Lee Dixon and John Murray will bring you second half commentary of that game. There is one other round of 16 second leg tie in the Champions League this evening. Benfica are 2-0 up against Club Brugge, Scott Parker's Club Brugge. Rafa Silva, Gonçalo Ramos with the goals in that one. It means it's 4-0 to Benfica on aggregate. And it's a busy night in the EFL as well, in the Championship. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0, Reading 0, Sheffield United 0. We'll get the very latest there with Aaron Paul shortly. West Brom 1-0 up at home to Wigan at half-time. In League One, Barnsley 2-1 up against Portsmouth. It's Cambridge 1, Morecambe 1. Cheltenham 0, Lincoln City 0. Ipswich 2, Accrington 0. Peterborough 1, Shrewsbury 1. Wycombe 1, Fleetwood 0. And Plymouth 0, Derby 1. In League 2, Doncaster goalless against Harrogate. It's Grimsby 1, Newport 1. Stockport goalless against Gillingham. Sutton 2-0 up against Crawley. Walsall 0, Bradford 0. And in the National League, Bromley 0, York City 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Wrexham 3. Dorking Wanderers 2, Barnet 1. Gateshead 0, Halifax 0. Maidenhead 0, Boreham Wood 1. Oldham 0, Woking 0, Scunthorpe 1, Altrincham 0, Solihull Moors 3, Torquay 1, Southend 0, Chesterfield 1, Wealdstone 2, Maidstone 1, Yeovil 0, Eastleigh 0, and in Scotland in the Championship, it's Greenock 1, Ayr 3, Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 0, and in League 2, Dumbarton against Stirling was postponed. So that's us up to date as far as everything is concerned. We'll round up the rest of the day's big sports stories, and we'll be back at Stamford Bridge for the second half after the BBC News with Jill Hornby.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The UN Refugee Agency has said it's profoundly concerned about the government's new legislation to deter migrants from crossing the channel on small boats. Ministers want to ban people who arrive in the UK illegally from claiming asylum or re-entering the country in the future. Rishi Sunak has insisted the measures are tough but fair, but Beth Gardner-Smith, who's from the refugee charity Safe Passage, disagrees.
Essentially, what the government is saying is to vulnerable refugees who, in most cases, don't have time to flee with papers, don't have time to obtain a visa or the ability to obtain a visa to cross borders. They're effectively saying, we will never give you protection. We will never give you the security that you need and deserve.
The RMT union has announced it's suspending all industrial action at Network Rail after receiving a new pay offer from the company. Members were due to walk out on the 16th of March. Workers at train companies are still due to strike on that date, but disruption is now likely to be less severe. The Conservative backbencher Sir Graham Brady has announced he will stand down as an MP at the next general election. He's overseen the appointment of 3 Tory leaders in his role as chairman of the 1922 committee. Eurovision fans have expressed disappointment after tickets for this year's event in Liverpool sold out in 90 minutes. Rochelle Bisson got kicked out of the online queue, but her fiancé came to the rescue.
He was getting kicked out for ages. He sent me a message and said, suddenly I'm at the front of the queue. A few minutes later, he sent me a screenshot of the ticket. It was only single tickets, and it's been my absolute dream to go to Eurovision. So he sacrificed his own ticket. I have a very good fiancé.
And a number of severe weather warnings are in place across the UK as forecasters predict more snow and ice will arrive tomorrow and Thursday. People who have to travel in affected areas are being advised to keep essential items like torches and extra layers to hand in case of emergencies.
On BBC iPlayer.
From the wilds of County Kerry to the Caledonian pine forest. From the Yorkshire moors to the reed beds of Suffolk. From an ant's nest in Gloucestershire to beneath the waves in Shetland. Our magical wildlife revealed close to home.
Wild Isles with David Attenborough starts this Sunday night on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live, your football station.
The UEFA Champions League.
With Kelly Cates.
Really entertaining first half at Stamford Bridge, after which Chelsea lead Dortmund by 1-0. It is 1-1 on aggregate. We will be back there for the second half very shortly. And we'll have commentary of all 3 games as the Six Nations resumes this weekend. Vice-captain Courtney Lawes will miss England's match against France on Saturday with a shoulder injury. But fly-half Marcus Smith is in the 27-man squad. That's despite being released from camp last week. England defence coach Kevin Sinfield explains the thinking behind that decision.
We've got 3 world-class 10s and obviously Finn Smith was with us in the early part of the campaign. I think we felt it was the right thing for Marcus to go back and play and get some minutes. It's been a decent spell since he had an 80 minutes under his belt. The balance for us is trying to get the makeup of a squad right each week so that we've got everybody fit to train on a Monday, yet also make sure that we look after players in the right way, and sometimes that's conflicting. You know, we all feel that it was the right thing for Marcus to go back and play, and he was outstanding, wasn't he? So to play like he did means he's massively in the mix. George has been outstanding, probably similarly to Marcus last week. You know, we feel that he'd benefit from some minutes. He'll be back with us, no doubt, and the 3 of them are so competitive, and it's really great to see.
Let's get more on this from our rugby union correspondent, Chris Jones. Chris, this isn't entirely expected. It is a tactic that we thought was maybe just a softening of the blow for Marcus Smith. So just give us a bit more on this.
Yeah, exactly. Remember we spoke, I think it was last Thursday, after George Ford had come into camp, Marcus Smith had been released, and normally under Eddie Jones and normally under most international coaches, if you don't have to release your players back, say if your player plays in France, you have to release them back, like Finn Russell was playing for Racing the other night. But for the England coach, they more often than not would keep their players in camp in the fallow week and not send them back to their clubs. And if they did send a player back, you'd assume they wouldn't be in the 23. So when Borthwick came out and said, no, Marcus needs game time, he'll still be in the mix, we all thought, okay, yeah, maybe that is just letting Smith down gently. But no, he's been true to his word. Smith is going to be in the 23. Ford has gone back to Sale. So it is a departure from the normal methods used by international head coaches. And we'll wait and see how big a role Smith will have at Twickenham, but he'll certainly be involved.
For Courtney Lawes, though, who only just came back against Wales, how bitter is this for him?
Yeah, it's so tough for Lawes to take. He captained England, didn't he, to that series win in Australia. You just have to listen to Danny Kerr talk on the podcast about the big leadership impression he made in Australia, but then a combination of concussion, a glute injury, a calf injury. He did come back against Wales, came off the bench, helped England see that game out in Cardiff, but he injured a shoulder in the gym, Sinfield says, and he's going to be out for a fair few weeks. He'll definitely miss France. He'll definitely miss Ireland a week Saturday. So it's one setback after the other for Courtney Lawes. He's resilient. He's a great of English rugby, but at 34, the injury's just starting to stack up. So yeah, Sinfield is confident Lawes will be back, but a tough one for him to take.
And there's a really big week coming up for Scotland. They've added 4 players to their squad for the Ireland game.
Yeah, they have. They've got to make at least one change after Grant Gilchrist was banned. So Scott Cummins comes in to reinforce their lock options. So you expect Johnny Gray and Richie Gray will partner each other. Also good to see Rory Darge back, one of their hot shots on the flank. He's been injured for the early part of the tournament. What a game this is at Murrayfield on Sunday, Kelly. It's hard to choose the biggest game of the weekend, but there's a lot on the line at Murrayfield. Scotland going for a triple crown. They've not won anything really since winning the title in 1999. Ireland can take a huge step towards winning the title, but they've got their sights firmly set on the Grand Slam. So yeah, what a showdown at Murrayfield, but a great showdown at Twickenham on Saturday, and Wales in Italy as well. So another brilliant weekend of Six Nations to look forward to.
It is a really exciting weekend ahead. Chris, thank you very much for now. There is lots more on all the big Six Nations stories on our Rugby Union Daily podcast. Chris is amongst the pods this week, where you'll be able to hear a special on Ireland coach Andy Farrell. And commentary of England against France on 5 Live then is from 4:45 on Saturday. Before that, 5 Sports Extra will have Italy against Wales from 2, and then Scotland against Ireland on Sunday. It is very exciting weekend, as we've been hearing from Chris Jones there. Elsewhere tonight, Watford have sacked their manager Slaven Bilic after 6 months in charge, and they've replaced him with Chris Wilder. UEFA will refund Liverpool fans who had tickets for the 2022 Champions League final in Paris. A report says UEFA bears primary responsibility for the chaotic scenes before the match. And Leicester have revealed a pre-tax loss of £92.5 million for the year ending May 2022. Back to Stamford Bridge very shortly, but there's a big match in the Championship tonight. Busy night in the EFL. Aaron Paul's across all of it, but he's watching Reading against Sheffield United. Aaron.
Into the second half here, Reading 0, Sheffield United. The home side have been really bright since the restart. Kelly, Andy Carroll has just seen a long-range curled shot claimed by Wes Fotheringham. Comfortable for the keeper. It remains Reading 0, Sheffield United 0.
Thank you very much, Aaron. So slightly later than you might have expected, Chelsea Dortmund is about to get back underway. To kick-off was delayed at the start of the game by 10 minutes. With you for the second half, Lee Dixon and John Murray.
As the second half begins here, huge second half for Chelsea and for Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea leading 1-0 on the night. It's 1-1 on aggregate. Lee Dixon's next to me, former England defender, former Arsenal man. And we're watching Borussia Dortmund playing the ball forward towards substitute Reina, who came on in the first half for the injured Brandt. But Cucurella was able to play it back to goalkeeper Kepa, who clears it away. Shouldered forward by Koulibaly. Chelsea have got to be sharp here. Borussia Dortmund is starting the second half quite strongly. They've got a real spirit about them. Headed forward for Dortmund. Here's Bellingham, who hooks the ball forward over his shoulder. Then in comes the challenge. That's just what Chelsea wanted from Fernandes, their record signing. Havertz on the right-hand side. Great pace at the start of the second half. Oh, well played Sterling. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Chilwell. Oh, it hits the arm of the defender. Ball played across the box. Kovacic shoots on the turn, that's deflected, and the goalkeeper, Meyer, is able to go down to his right. But referee Macaulay, the Dutchman, had a good view on that, and he clearly feels that Wolf's arm was by his side, and he's not given a penalty.
Well, he wasn't that far away, to be honest with you, from Chilwell when the ball got hit towards the goal for the cross, and it did hit his arm, there's no doubt about that. But if I was a defender, I'd be very, very upset if that was given. As you said, John, his arms didn't come up to block the ball, he was just trying to close Chilwell down. Good break again from Chelsea, moving the ball quickly from the right hand side way out to that left hand side where Chilwell tried to put the cross in and was blocked by the arm.
So they are having a look at this. They're having a look at it, and we've just seen the replay here. Now it's played, what was he, 5 yards away from him?
No, he's not that, and it's not handball.
And Wolf turns away, twists his body, and his arm goes out.
Well, his arm can't go anywhere else.
No,
he's turning to the left. His arm has to go to the left. Yeah. He can't make his arm go the opposite way. That's not a handball. It's not. It's definitely. This is.
The only thing is, the arm is kind of at right angles.
We've got. I know what you're saying. Playing devil's advocate. That's fine. Yeah. But if this is given, will be a shocking result.
Oh, he's going to have a look. He's going to have a look. The video assistant referee has said to Danny Macaulay to go and have a look at it, and so he's all there on the far side now. He's watching the screen. You know what this usually means. He'll be talking to Paul van Berkel, the video assistant referee. Lee, you've seen it again?
I have seen it again, and I'm not changing my mind. He's 2.5 yards away from trying to do his job as a fullback, stop the cross. He's turned his back on it. His arm's gone with his body, and it's kind of flicked his wrist as the ball's gone past him. It's not a penalty.
Well, he's still looking at it. They've taken a long time here, and there is the rectangle. It's going to be a penalty. Well, that's controversial. Borussia Dortmund do not like this. The 3, 4, 5 players running over to the referee, but they've made the decision. The video assistant referee has called the on-field referee, Danny Macaulay, across, and after quite a long discussion, you know, they've had to think carefully about this, and in the end they've decided that was a handball by Marius Wolf, and it's a penalty to Chelsea. And this in itself is very interesting, because Chelsea have not had a penalty since Jorginho left the club. So therefore it's a new penalty taker. Graham Potter said yesterday it would be Kai Havertz.
He did, yeah.
He said Havertz is the first choice to take the penalties now, so this is a big pressure moment.
It is. He's got hold of the ball, and Felix is standing by the penalty spot as well, but Kai Havertz has got hold of the ball in his right hand underneath, as calm as you like, just wandering around trying to settle the nerves. And again, I go back to, I've just seen another replay of it. I'm not so sure where defenders are supposed to put their arms anymore. We'll have to have pockets sewn into shorts so they can put their hands in the pockets. I mean, it's not a penalty for me. But there we go. This will make a game of it. Kai Havertz, pressure's on.
So, Chelsea, who've not scored 2 goals in a match since December. This is what they had to do tonight, get a second goal against Borussia Dortmund. This is the opportunity for Chelsea to take the lead in the tie for the first time, and it's on the shoulders of Kai Havertz, who stands with his hands on his hips, then little steps, left foot, little delay. Oh, he's hit the post! He's missed it! It comes back to him. Dortmund clear, the chance is gone, and Chelsea's new penalty taker, Kai Havertz, could not find the net, and it's still 1-0 on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. Oh, Chelsea, how's your look in front of goal?
Well, he's one and done. He won't be taking another one. I mean, he waited. He did the old shuffle run-up, waited for the goalkeeper to commit himself. He did, but then he missed the target. He's hit the bottom of the post, as calm as you like. The ball's gone out for a throw-in.
I think they might be having a look here to see if there's any encroachment, because it's out for a throw, and the referee is talking. The VAR is clearly talking to the referee. And, yeah, they are having a look, so that it's either the goalkeeper off the line or it's encroachment, and it's given again. It's going to be retaken. Oh, goodness me, what incredible Champions League drama we've got here, and it all surrounds VAR.
Well, I'm guessing that the player who's cleared the ball is encroaching, and it's Oshan who follows in, and they're saying he's inside the box, and then he clears the ball. So quite rightly so, if he's inside.
Oh yeah, we're seeing it now clearly. There are at least 3 Dortmund players in the box.
There's also 3 Chelsea players in the box as well, but the one that the ball falls to is a Dortmund player who clears the ball. So,
well, the players are all milling around near the spot. Question is, Lee, what do we do here if you're Chelsea? Does Havertz take it again?
Well, he's got hold of the ball, and again he's doing his little I'm not nervous walk around. He looks nervous to me. And again, Felix is standing on the spot. I think he's stopping people scuffing the penalty spot up, because there's a few Dortmund players hanging around just looking as if they want to scuff the ground. And to be fair, Felix is doing a protection job. They're trying to get the Dortmund players outside of the box, so
that was the
Havertz can take the penalty.
Dortmund players not being outside the box was the problem, so they'd be well served to get themselves out of the area. And still lots and lots of milling around, lots of time to think about this for Kai Havertz. Now with his first effort, he did send goalkeeper Maya the wrong way, but hit the post. So now Chelsea's retaken penalty, another chance to take the lead for the first time in this tie. Havertz, again little steps, again little delay, this time scores! He went the same way! The goalkeeper also dives the other way, but this time the ball found the net. Havertz shows real nerve there, and he's leapt on. He's in a pile of Chelsea bodies. It's 2-0 on the night, and Chelsea are in front, and Graham Potter can enjoy the moment for once.
Well, astonishing scenes here at Stamford Bridge. The game was good enough in the first half. We were hoping for more of the same, and we've got that. We've got incident, we've got controversy with the penalty in the first place, encroaching, Oshan following in, and then Havertz taking 2 penalties. To be fair to him, wow, because he just grabbed the ball immediately and walked straight up to the penalty spot and said, you know what, I'm having this one again. And he put it virtually, and I say virtually, in the same spot, 3 inches to the left. Chelsea 2-1 up.
Well, what a carry on, Lee.
What a carry on.
What a carry on
up the bridge.
Carry on up the bridge. Chelsea 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. And now Chelsea, what are they going to be like? Well, they've not had a 2-0 lead in 2023. So we'll find out what they're like hanging on to a 2-0 lead. Or maybe they'll put their foot on the accelerator and take it on from here. I'll just check the other matches that have been played tonight. You can understand our concentration has been what's been happening here over the course of the last few minutes. I can tell you, or at least Aaron Paul can tell you at Reading, that
deadlock broken. Reading 0, Sheffield United 1. It's that man again, Iliman Ndiaye. He puts the visitors ahead after a counter-attack down the right. Ollie McBurney sprinting to get the ball at the byline. He played it in first time. There was Ndiaye to tuck home. Reading 0, Sheffield United 1.
In the Champions League, Benfica are now 3-0 up on Club Bruges. So that's 5-0 on aggregate. Benfica going through. Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0, and West Brom 1, Wigan 0 are latest scores in the Championship. Bellingham with a run to the edge of the penalty area. It's played across. Reina with a shot, curled, hit the head of Chilwell, who has blocked it, and then Chilwell volleys it away downfield, and it's bouncing for Maya, and Sterling is chasing, and the goalkeeper catches it, and actually his body and his momentum took him out of the penalty area, but he was leaning back into the box with the ball in his hands, and even though they shouted for a handball outside the box, I think the officials got that right.
Well, Chelsea players and the supporters are shouting for everyone. There's a real energy and passion to this game tonight. Dortmund are playing catch-up. They need a goal. Just got to keep the heads, Chelsea. They're flying into tackles left, right and centre, which is good, but you've got to be controlled. You've got to have some discipline, and they've got that at the moment, and they've certainly got the impetus.
Graham Potter seemingly couldn't watch the penalty, the second one. I don't know whether both penalties or the second one, but he certainly couldn't watch the second one, I'm told. However, Stamford Bridge's noise will have told him all he needed to know, and watching him down there, and you know, he looks edgy, he looks nervous. He did a full 360 degrees looking at the ground, and now he's turned again and set off down those little steps and taken his seat down there. This is it. This is management at the very highest level when the stakes are there and the pressure's on. And this is what he's finding out, that it's like when you're at the centre of the storm and Chelsea coming forward. Graham Potter's Chelsea team, cross from Havertz, and it's blocked out of play for a throw to Chelsea on the left. Lee Dixon.
We certainly got a feeling before the game, John, didn't we, that it was going to be some special night, a special game. And it's proved so far, because the atmosphere before the game, Dortmund played a big part in that, their fans. But this Chelsea noise, now I've not heard Stamford Bridge this loud before. It's really exceptional.
It is. And certainly as well helped by the Dortmund fans, who I think have caused it's caused a reaction among the home sections as well. In League One tonight, these are latest scores. Barnsley 3, Portsmouth 1. Ball played forward for Chelsea, but Meyer comes out and is able to catch it. Cambridge United 1, Morecambe 1. Cheltenham 0, Lincoln City 0. Ipswich now 2-0 up on Accrington. It's Peterborough 1, Shrewsbury 1. Wickham 2, Fleetwood 0. And it is Plymouth 1, Derby 1. So Plymouth have levelled things up. In League 2, a couple of goals for Harrogate Town, who are winning 2-0 away at Doncaster. That's important for them at the bottom end of the table. Grimsby Town 1, Newport 1. Still Stockport 0, Gillingham 0. Sutton 2, Crawley 0 it remains. And Walsall 0, Bradford City 0. Here, Chelsea 2-0 up on the night, but Borussia Dortmund coming forward. Wolf, his ball in from the right-hand side. That's headed away by Fernandes. Comes out now for Dortmund and a weaving run back into the D. Little poke from Bellingham to the left-hand side. Here's the cross in. Bounces on the edge of the box. Bellingham with a chance, and he's put it wide. He had Chelsea players either side and in front of him, and he had to snatch at it, and he did, and he hit it wide. Bellingham.
Well, I don't know how he's missed that. The ball comes from this left-hand side to the far post. Haller just gets something on it, and it bounces back to Bellingham. He's 5 yards out, 6 yards out. The goal right in front of him, and he just left foots it past the post. Somehow misses the target. He's only got to hit the target. It's a goal.
He missed it. Just over half an hour to play. Still 2-0. And just to go back, that drama which led to the second Chelsea goal, everyone's got an opinion on VAR, and certainly, Lee, you feel that it was a very harsh award to give a penalty to Chelsea for the handball. VAR played a major role in that, the deciding role, and likewise in the retaking of the penalty as Havertz plays it forward to Sterling, and that's a poor touch from Sterling. Just send it away through for a goal kick to Dortmund. One thing I would say is that, people say VAR ruins the game. To me, that has added and heightened the drama, what we've seen there.
Well, that's because we're neutral. If we were a Dortmund fan, I'm not sure we'd be saying the same thing. But it does. I mean, sometimes it adds a lot of excitement. It certainly did then. I don't think that's a handball. Andy Townsend sitting next to us broadcasting, 2 or 3 feet away, and he looked at me and I looked at him. We both shook our heads and said, that's never been a penalty.
But the other point is, I think the referee's seen that, and it comes back to the question, was that a clear and obvious error? It's debatable.
Well, that's an opinion by the VAR saying, this is what I think that's handball. So I don't think, in that his hand's not right out in an obviously away from his body position. And
the question they'd be asking is it outside that silhouette? And it probably was slightly outside the silhouette. Here's Bellingham, takes it onto the edge of the box, angles it back. Bellingham again stretches, lots of Chelsea shirts in there, and it's cleared away by Fofana. Not far though, back to Dortmund. They were responding well here, and it's Özcan in possession. He plays it square. Chan, right-footed shot from him, but Kepa's able to go across to his left. Bounced in front of him and gathered it up into his midriff, and now Kovacic plays it forward. Felix to the left. Chilwell. It was Chilwell's ball that resulted in the penalty, and then Felix on the chase. But Schlotterbeck is able to clear that away back downfield, and Dortmund come again as they play towards the end where all of those noisy Dortmund fans are. Haller scored just 1 goal so far for Borussia Dortmund. Sebastian Haller, of course, had the long spell out with testicular cancer and has got a real weight of support behind him. The former West Ham man. Dortmund coming again, this time on the right-hand side. Chelsea static inside their own penalty area, and then it's attempted Bellingham to slip it forward to Wolf, comes back to Bellingham, whips it into the near post, and Koulibaly was there coming across to volley it back out towards Bellingham. Bellingham jumps for it, Felix is challenged, Bellingham again, and the referee's seen that as a foul on Felix by Reina, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, and that just relieves the pressure a little bit, because Dortmund were just flooding yellow shirts forward into the last third of the pitch, putting Chelsea under all sorts of pressure. They couldn't clear the lines, but Felix just going down on the challenge and just giving his side a little bit of a breather. And we know that Dortmund are going to come in waves now, because they've got nothing to lose. They need to score, and there's 29 minutes to go. I'm pretty sure Bellingham, every time he gets forward and goes and supports Haller up front, they look dangerous, Dortmund. So I think as the game goes on, he's going to start wandering towards that little number 10 position, just getting a little bit more involved up top.
So 2-0, 5 Live and BBC Sounds live here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea with Kepa in goal. 3 central defenders tonight, Fofana, Koulibaly and Cucurella. Chilwell and James, the wing backs, Fernandes and Kovacic in the middle, and then the front line, mainly Havertz in the middle, Felix towards the left and Sterling on the right. Chelsea breaking forward with it, and here is Havertz deep inside his own half. He's got his 7th goal of the season for Chelsea with that penalty. Felix, lovely footwork, plays it across field. Footwork was great, the pass wasn't. And therefore Guerrero, the left back, is then dispossessed by Reece James, returning from injury tonight, importantly for Graham Potter and Chelsea. Kovacic has asked an awful lot of Chilwell, who on a stretch has kept it in, knocked it down into the Dortmund fullback position. Wolf is going to turn and put it out of play. No, in fact, he's played it up the line, and it's forward, and then deflected out of play over there on the far side by Reina for a throw-in to Chelsea. Benfica now winning 4-0 on the night, so 6-0 on aggregate. And Peterborough winning 2-1 now against Shrewsbury in League One. Chelsea, by the way, on the bench tonight. Lucas Bergström is the second choice goalkeeper on the bench, who was on loan at Peterborough in the first part of this season. And I noticed today that he's 6'9", Lucas Bergström. 6'9". Ball is out of play for a throw-in on the far side. He'd fill the goal, wouldn't he? So a change coming for Dortmund, and it's Özcan who is going to be replaced by this exciting young prospect, Jamie Bino Gittins, who was a former Chelsea youngster. He spent time at the Chelsea Academy, born here in London, England under-19 international, actually was in the squad, the England squad, played in the final when England won the European under-19 championship last year. He was at Manchester City as well, but on a path that's been trodden before. He left Manchester City and is making his way with great promise. Bino Gittins for Dortmund, 18 years old, so he's onto the field, and it is Dortmund coming forward. Wolf for the shot, but that's a good save by Kepa, pushing it across the 6-yard box. Dortmund still in the Chelsea box, and then Fofana is tripped by a stretching Bellingham, and it's a free kick to Chelsea in their own penalty area.
Well, he made a great save from Royce from a free kick in the first half, and that's equally as good. The right fullback Wolf it was who got inside the box, just teed it up and put his laces straight through the middle of the ball. It was a straight shot, but Kepa had to be quick, had to get his arm straight out, got a full glove on it, and it's a good save. Luckily it didn't bounce to a Dortmund player who would have had an open goal. In the end, a foul on Fofana.
And Kepa and Dortmund are making the point. Marco Reus is going to the referee, and he didn't need to, because the referee is all over it. Kepa was time wasting, and he's already booked Nicolas Zula, wasn't it, for time wasting in the first half, and now Kepa is yellow carded for time wasting. Still hasn't taken the free kick, incidentally. Still hasn't taken it. So what are you going to do? Kepa, long from him, headed forward, but Fernandes, who's overhit the pass forward, and Dortmund have got the ball at the back. 25 minutes to go. So with this scoreline, Chelsea are 25 minutes away from turning this tie around and reaching the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Dortmund, the way that they are, this is the Dortmund team that have won 10 matches in a row. They're on a joint club record run of 8 consecutive Bundesliga wins in a row. And here They're 2-0 down. Chelsea have done what they've not been able to do since December and scored 2 in one match. Kovacic, so far so good for Graham Potter. Kovacic slips over as he tries to pass the ball forward, and then it's given away to Fernandes. Chelsea still halfway inside the Dortmund half. James is challenged by Bellingham. Ball rolls over the white line. Bellingham helps up his England teammate, Reece James, and now Chelsea make what is their first change. Conor Gallagher's coming on, and just waiting to see who is going to leave the field.
It's Felix,
João Felix coming off. There he is, yeah. I think he cleverly made his way over to the far side of the field, as they do. And Conor Gallagher comes on into the heat of this Champions League last 16 tie. And Felix has been cheered off. He's caught the eye tonight, João Felix.
He's been outstanding. He really has on the ball. It's just an interesting move now. Conor Gallagher, a little bit more energy, if you like.
Havertz goes for goal, but it bends away from goal and actually is going to go out and play near the corner flag.
Surprised us all with that one, didn't he? Straight from a throw-in. He just thought, you know what, 35 yards out, I'll have a go.
That reminded me of who was it who scored a goal like that? Anyway, it'll come to me.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, you were fairly low down the betting order on that one.
Not in the opposition goal, anyway.
No. It's Lee Dixon, former Arsenal and England man, with us here on 5 Live. Ball bounces out of play for a throw into Dortmund, 10 yards inside their own half. What'll happen is tomorrow afternoon when I'm on the train, I'll remember I'll think, oh yes, that's who it was.
You'll be YouTubing everything, won't you, trying to find it?
I'll just let natural order take care of that. Halfway through the second half, Chelsea leading 2-0, Chelsea going through. Benfica are now 5-0 up on the night, 7-0 on aggregate, and the ball is with Kepa. Still as it was in the Championship, in the latter stages of those matches, Huddersfield 0, Bristol City 0, Reading 0, Sheffield United 1 and West Brom 1, Wigan 0. Plymouth now leading Derby by 2 goals to 1. They've come from a goal down against Derby and Plymouth are winning. Ball forward for Dortmund, but Kepa's able to come out and eventually will pick it up.
Graham Potter will be really pleased with that back three. We talked about it before after the Leeds game about the balance, and they do look very balanced. The 3 at the back have had really good games, especially Cucurella on that left-hand side with Chilwell as the left wing-back. Excellent together, and also no gaps in that 3 at the back. But they've not really been tested, to be honest with you. Haller's not really moved around a lot, and they haven't had enough midfield runners to actually test that 3.
Kovacic has fouled Haller over on the far side, so free kick to Dortmund. That's taken short by Reina, comes back to the American, just forward of the centre circle, uses Bellingham. That's a big chance he had when he was 6 yards out. Bellingham, right-footed ball to Wolf, who also has had a good effort saved by Kepa. Now back it goes, now up towards the edge of the penalty area. Guerrero is there, but Cucurella is able to come across against Royce, takes the ball out towards the corner flag and turns and puts it out of play nearer the halfway line. It'll be a throw into Dortmund. Just got the feel now that Dortmund are just enjoying a better spell. They know that if they can get a goal back, that would take the tie to extra time. That would level it up at 2-2. And remember, no away goals rule anymore. Haller flicks the ball with his right foot over to the right-hand side. Reina is there. Yellow shirts of Dortmund enjoying possession now. Here's Guerrero, the Portuguese international. Guerrero's cross, headed away by Koulibaly. Only out to Emre Can. Can lifts it to Reina. First time touch from Reina. Out to the fair head. Wolf on the right-hand side. Back to him again. Wolf on his left foot, doesn't cross it, plays it square. Can into the penalty area where Zula was after it, the central defender, but Chelsea clear and Kovacic finds the pass forward to Sterling, and now Havertz plays it into space on the right for James to run into. He's onto the ball now. Gallagher points where he wants it. In fact, it goes back from James to Havertz. The Stamford Bridge crowd wanted him to shoot, but he didn't. Thought better of that after his previous effort. Then into Gallagher on the edge of the box, taking it on towards the byline and winning a corner as well. Well, the defender, Slotterbeck, is pleading with the assistant, saying that it came back onto Gallagher and went behind. They disagree, it's a corner.
Really good break from Chelsea, moving the ball extremely well. Dortmund pushing men forward are going to leave gaps at the back, and Chelsea are trying to exploit that. Just weren't quick enough on the break, slowed it down, but they've won themselves a corner on this right-hand side.
In no hurry, obviously, to take this. Reece James way down below us here. Reece James has been called across by Graham Potter, who has some instructions for him. He's leaning over the white line and talking into his ear. Corner. Dortmund have got everyone back for this. So Chilwell is going to take it. Gallagher's gone over there as well, in front of the Matthew Harding stand. Spectators behind that goal on their feet. Chilwell strikes the corner into the edge of the 6-yard box, where it was headed away by Wolf. Comes back to Bellingham in the penalty area. Wolf heads it away on the edge of the box. And now Fernandez, the Argentine World Cup winner, to Cucurella on the left. Offside flag though up against Cucurella, and it's a free kick. And we've got less than 20 minutes to play. Chelsea 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. 2-1 Chelsea lead on aggregate. Back to Reading. Aaron Paul.
Reading 0, Sheffield United 1. The visitors so close to a second. Matt Slow with a delicious ball into the middle. Billy Sharp was there. Fantastic save, Lumley in the Reading goal to tip it over. Reading 0, Sheffield United 1, 7 to go.
Sutton have beaten Crawley by 3-0 in League 2. Full time's coming in now. Walsall 0, Bradford City 0 is full time. Stockport 0, Gillingham 0, Grimsby 1, Newport 1, and Doncaster 0, Harrogate Town 2. All full times. Dortmund coming forward. A low cross shot from Niklas Zula, the central defender, the German international, fizzed it across, but Kepa, even though he dived down to his right, knew it was going beyond the back.
He was never going in, and Zula just ran out of options right in the angle of the penalty box. Thought, I can't cross it, he was being blocked, so I'll just try and have a shot, and it was never going in. But one of those can just hit somebody on the way, a defender, attacker, and ricochet to someone, so Kepa just thought he'd dive anyway.
In the Shed stand, and Kepa's already been yellow carded here, and he's taking a long time over this goal kick. The Dortmund fans, I must say, you know, we say this so often when we see supporters coming here and from overseas and filling the grounds, but they have been exceptional tonight, as Jurgen Klopp, their former manager, might say. Exceptional. Standing in the lower tier, half of that, and in the upper tier as well, you know, jumping up and down like a moving sea of football supporters in their yellow and black. They're desperate for a goal. If Chelsea keep a clean sheet now, they're through. Here's Havertz, does well. Havertz against Chan, then finds Sterling on the left-hand side. Sterling in the box, ball across, took a deflection, took it straight behind. Corner to Chelsea from the left-hand side. Well played.
Yeah, they'll take that. Anything that wastes a little bit of time. Sterling on that left-hand side getting the ball to feet. When he's in the box like that, it's very difficult to put a challenge on him. He's got such quick feet. As a full-back, you put your foot in, he just moves it, you capture a toe and down he goes. So defenders are just standing in front of him. That enabled him just to kick it against the shins and win a corner.
Chilwell with the corner then. Over on the far side. Here's the delivery. An out swing out of the edge of the 6-yard box. Chan, I think, got a little touch on that with his head. It was cleared away behind him. And Dortmund got it away to the halfway line, and James is there for Chelsea. Plays it across to Cucurella. Fernandez clips the ball out towards the far side. Chilwell already back inside his own half. Back to Cucurella. And then to Kovacic nearer the halfway line. Chelsea with Dortmund all over them there, and they have won it back. The German side, Bellingham, their England star, he's challenged. Here now is Bino Gittins with the first chance to run forward with him, but it's bounced back for Chelsea. Kovacic plays it through. That has to be offside against Sterling. No flag yet. Sterling plays it square. Gallagher puts it in the net. And the offside flag is up, as we suspect.
We knew it was going to go up. We were just waiting. It was probably, I don't know, he looked 3 or 4 yards offside. He's never quite as much as you think, but a good move though. Just went a little bit too early.
Now the picture's seized up again. Spent most of half-time working on the Wi-Fi code, which is one of my favourite pastimes. We eventually got there. We've got the pictures back again, so that's good. Chelsea 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. And now here's Reina, centrally. And then Zula, he's shown a real willingness to get forward. The right-sided central defender, Niklas Zula. And now Chan, who sort of drops in there when Zula goes forward. Now it's with the other central defender, Schlotterbeck. Left-footed ball out to the right-hand side. Wolf is able to get the ball under control. Wolf's cross to the near post is cleared away by Koulibaly on the half volley, landing it in the first rows of the east stand on the far side. Ball boy wanders behind the electronic advertising boards on the far side and eventually gives Dortmund the ball back. But they're actually going to make another change. And coming on, Donyell Malen, the Dutchman, the Dutch international who's been out injured. He's a centre forward, and he's going to take the place of Allaire, who's actually been very quiet tonight. Bruges have got a goal back, Club Bruges, but it won't change the outcome. 5-1 on the night, 7-1 on aggregate. So Donyell Malen is on for Dortmund, the number 21. Here's Guerrero. Guerrero is challenged by Fernandez. That's a free kick. I think the referee couldn't get his yellow card out quick enough for Fernandez.
I think he'd forgotten where he put his yellow card then. He was like desperate to try and get it out quickly, wasn't he?
He did. And it's a free kick. This is a good position for Dortmund. Left of centre. Royce likes the look of this. I think it's a little further out than the one that he had in the first half, where Kepa made a very good save.
Yeah, it's a slightly different angle as well. It looks like the wall is going to be insignificant. I would have thought that Kepa will maybe have one or two in the wall, because he is quite a way out. And he said that he's looking like he fancies it.
In fact, it's actually played in by Guerrero to the back post, headed down, and then cleared away by Kovacic. And then Bino Gittins jumps forward and actually heads it out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea, 10 yards inside their own half. So we've got 12 minutes plus added time to play. Chelsea are 12 minutes away from going through. This time tomorrow on 5 Live Sport. If you're listening to us, you'll hear commentary from Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton on the Tottenham-Milan second leg, which is a similar sort of situation to this. Enjoyed the first leg of that as well. I was following that. Wasn't a great deal in it. And Tottenham, with Antonio Conte back in position, will hope of doing what Chelsea are in the process of doing. They've got the ball with Fofana, who will go all the way back to Kepa. Full-time scores in League One. Barnsley 3, Portsmouth 1. Cambridge 1, Morecambe 1, Cheltenham 0, Lincoln City 0, Ipswich 3-0 winners against Accrington. The rest of them in a moment, because Dortmund are coming forward through the middle. Kukureya, strong challenge. Reina is able to find Bino Gittins, who beats two men, comes in field and runs into the path of Kovacic, who whacks it right-footed out of play, and there's a Chelsea man down.
Yeah,
Conor Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher just went into a challenge and took a heavy whack onto the top of his thigh, bottom of his back.
So we'll have a stoppage.
That challenge.
Yeah, we'll have a stoppage. The referee is not anxious to let the medical people on. In fairness, they're not looking to come on. Gallagher's okay, and he will get back to his feet. And now there's a little bit of what's going on here. Chan and James,
yeah, they're having a little
chat near the halfway line.
James has just squirted his water bottle at him.
The other full-time scores: Peterborough 1-2-1 against Shrewsbury. They did finish Wycombe 2, Fleetwood 0, and they're still playing where Plymouth are 2-1 up on Derby. I'll let you know what happens there. It has finished Huddersfield Town 0, Bristol City 0 in the Championship. Still playing at Reading and West Brom. So,
sorry, John. Listen, there's still 10 minutes to go and anything can happen. We know Dortmund are capable. They've created a couple of chances here and there tonight, but I have been disappointed with them. I think with Brandt going off early in the start of this game.
Bino Gittins has rather carelessly. He was trying to take it on and dummy the cross, and actually just took his eye off the ball and it rolled over the line for a goal kick. The other thing as well, missing Adeyemi tonight on that side.
Yeah. The two pace men on that right-hand side. Brandt going off early was a real boost for Chelsea, and they've dominated that left-hand side of pitch tonight with Kukureya and Chilwell.
Christian Pulisic is making his return tonight, having missed the last 10 matches with a knee injury, and it looks as though he's going to come on against his former club, Borussia Dortmund, where he sort of burst into the European limelight. So he's going to come on shortly. Play back underway. Less than 10 minutes to go now for Chelsea. This is a real nail-biter for their supporters, who've not had much to cheer in recent weeks. As Chelsea, Fernandes plays it through the middle of Sterling. He's got a lot to do. He's beaten Zula, and then in comes the challenge from Chan as well, and it's forcing Sterling to take it further away towards the halfway line. Chilwell does well, finds Sterling, but he's leaned into there by Zula. Down goes Sterling. They shout for a free kick, but that was good defending. And the ball is played across the back line to Schlotterbeck, and now Guerrero will take it on down the left and play it forward towards Bino Gittins, but James is able to put in and cut out the pass that just lacked a little bit of pace, that ball to Bino Gittins. So Chelsea were able to put it out, and it is Kovacic, the captain, who is going to be replaced. So Mateo Kovacic coming off, and also Raheem Sterling, the man who scored the opening goal in the 43rd minute. And Sterling, that was a crucial moment for Chelsea when he was able to ride his luck and a break of the ball, having missed it initially, but then found the back of the net.
Yeah, he didn't have his best start to this game for sure. The crowd were just starting to get on his back a little bit, and when he missed that, as you said, his left-footed chance as it came full back from that left-hand side, and he missed his kick, but then he had the presence of mind just to get another touch on it, and that freed up the opportunity to get his shot away, and avoided to get it away right in the roof of the net.
That's Lee Dixon. This is 5 Live. Listen as well on BBC Sounds. That's where the 5 Live Football Daily will be in the morning. Dortmund coming forward. Little slip pass by Reina was cut out by James. Loftus-Cheek has come on as well for Kovacic in the midfield. Ball played forward for Havertz, but Chan for Dortmund was able to glide across there, get there first and play it back to his goalkeeper. Time running out for Borussia Dortmund.
He certainly put the miles in, Chan, because he plays in between the two centre-backs when they split. He does a lot of defensive work in front of them as well when they go narrow, and he's also their playmaker, so no wonder he looks tired right now.
Loftus-Cheek tried to win a free kick there. Big cheers, big shouts for that. Not given. Right decision, I think, from Makeli. And now Dortmund have it on the far side. Comes back in field. It's amazing how this Champions League, these high-octane matches, throw up late drama, isn't it? And we've got just over 6 minutes to go. The drama may yet be to come. They've had some drama, haven't they, in Champions League matches here over the years. Some of those matches, you know, it sort of flashes across your eyes when you think about it. Ball's out of play, the fans aren't giving the ball back to Guerrero. Then as one comes back, somebody throws another one onto the field. Crowd trying to help their team play their bit to see Chelsea through this. Chelsea defending. It's Dortmund in possession. Chan just knocks it to his right to Zula. Zula looks up, then plays it back to Chan behind him. Then it comes to the left-hand side here. Schlotterbeck is taking it on, then playing it infield. Reina in the central position. To a pass. Reina's giving it away. Loftus-Cheek plays it forward. Oh, but the referee's brought it back, actually, for a challenge on Reina. That must have been after the ball had gone.
Yes, it was. Nobody saw it apart from the referee. All the other players were following the ball. And certainly 2 commentators up here were following the ball as well, because we missed it.
Yeah, and don't worry, it's no good looking at the screen. It's about a minute and a half behind. We'll see it in a bit. Free kick then. And this is a good position again. Yeah. Royce could potentially go for goal here. Guerrero's there as well. Remember the last one they had from a similar position, but a bit further out. Guerrero actually played it across the penalty area. And yeah, it was Gallagher who committed the foul, we're being told, a late challenge. So Guerrero plays the free kick in across the box, but there was nobody there in a yellow shirt. Chelsea let it run, and it's been blasted away out of play in the other halfway line by Chilwell.
Well, they all came to the near post or the middle of the goal for that free kick. Nobody had actually gone to the far post. They were started off in that position. One of them had just stayed there. He would have had a free header, but they're all making runs to that near post, desperate to try and get a goal and back into this game.
Plymouth have won. They've beaten Derby by 2 goals to 1. Free kick to Dortmund. Bino Gittins was fouled by James. Chelsea are going to make another change. Dennis Zakaria is going to come on, the on loan Juventus man, into the midfield. but not yet. Dortmund still playing. We're into the last 5 minutes now. Chelsea 5 minutes away. They can almost touch it here. Dortmund playing it low to the edge of the box. That's gone a long way, but Fofana's able to clear it away downfield. Full time at Reading. Aaron Paul.
Reading 0, Sheffield United 1. Iliman Ndiaye grabbed the game's only goal in the second half before limping off, with substance being preferred over star for United tonight. 7 points clear of third place Middlesbrough. Reading 0, Sheffield United 1.
Still playing where West Brom are winning 1-0 against Wigan. And we will have all of the reaction on 5 Live tonight, 10:30. And then if you miss it, it'll be on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning. Chelsea are going to make this change. Zakaria coming on. And also, by the way, on Sounds in the morning, it's International Women's Day tomorrow, and there is a Women's Sport Matters podcast special, which is in collaboration with the Open University on BBC Sounds tomorrow, where you can also, of course, listen to the live radio, rewind and listen again. If you've been at the match, you might want to listen to this when you get home again, if Chelsea see it through. Zakaria comes on into the thick of the action for the final moments. Chelsea nearly there. 3 minutes to go. Dortmund in possession. Sterling and Havertz with the goals. The dramatic penalty from Havertz. Hit the post with the first one. Was retaken. Controversial award in the first place. And Havertz, Chelsea's new penalty taker, showed the nerve and the steel required. Dortmund, though, have not given this up. Oh no. If they score one more goal without reply, we'll be going to extra time. Bino Gittins on the left-hand side. The young Englishman, Bino Gittins, helped by the young American, Reina. Then back it goes to the central defenders, the two Germans. Zula plays it in, he's put too much on that. James dived for it, it's still in play. Reina keeps it in. Reina's got space yet to cross, which he does into the head of James. Could have done better there, Reina, certainly.
Yeah, he should have done better. He had plenty of time and he just took too much of that time, and in the end got closed down by James, who headed the ball out for a throw-in. Still under pressure, Chelsea.
Great Champions League drama base. Borussia Dortmund are pressing for the goal that would take it to extra time. Zakaria into the challenge. It's taken on, though, through the middle by Marlon. Marlon skips away from a couple of challenges, plays it back to Chan, 30 yards out, and then Zula is there. There's Wolf on the right. Wolf's cross is headed over. A stretch from Bellingham. He had Chelsea players either side, the big man, the teenager, and he sits on his backside and looks at the Dortmund fans behind the goal. Couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, it was a difficult header because there was loads of height on it, not a lot of pace on the ball, so he's got to generate the pace himself. He gets up really early and hangs there trying to wait for the ball to come over, and in the end he's up a little bit too early and got no power in it and just looped it over the bar.
Dennis Zakaria came on for Fernandez, by the way. Be able to hear another Dennis tomorrow night on 5 Live. Ian Dennis, he'll be commentating on Tottenham against Milan. That's on 5 Live tomorrow. Manchester United Real Betis on 5 Live on Thursday night. But tonight, it's all about these final minutes now. We're in the 90th minute at Stamford Bridge. Dortmund come forward again. Zakaria was able to get there first, clear it up to the halfway line. Havertz turns nicely, gives it to Pulisic, but the pass rolls out to the right. Pulisic might take this to the corner flag if he can. Dortmund are chasing him. He weaves away infield, though, towards the middle of the half, and then under pressure from Reina. Knocks it back to Zakaria. Comes forward, a flick from Loftus-Cheek to Cucurella. Now Chilwell on the left-hand side, up against Royce. Loftus-Cheek helps him out. Loftus-Cheek low to the edge of the box. Gallagher, Chilwell's ball infield, hits the defender and bounces back to goalkeeper Meyer, who kicks it clear to the halfway line, where Koulibaly plays it up through the middle to Pulisic, who must be offside, puts it wide anyway, and then the flag goes up.
Yeah, he was miles offside. No, but everybody stopped, including the goalkeeper. Pulisic just knocks it past the post, but a really good bit of pressure.
6 minutes, Lee Dixon.
Thought they were going to take the ball down. Chilwell was going to take the ball down to the corner flag. Maybe he knew there's another 6 minutes to go.
6 minutes for Chelsea, 6 minutes for Graham Potter, 6 minutes. Royce Schlotterbeck plays it forward, bounces back. Havertz flicks it forward to Zakaria. It's 3 against 2. Zakaria approaches the penalty area, knocks it all in between the two Chelsea men, Pulisic and Havertz. And Havertz actually sprints out to the left-hand side, keeps it in play. And now he begins to move infield towards the penalty area. Royce and Wolf are there together. Then Havertz, leading them a merry dance, takes it back out to the far side. It's kept in play. Chilwell is there. In fact, it wasn't kept in play. Wolf runs after Chilwell, pushes him in the back, and Chelsea are quite happy to make an issue of this. It's a pushing and shoving match on the far side. This will waste more vital seconds for Borussia Dortmund. They're better just to leave it and get away from the situation, because the referee's got to calm it all down. It's a yellow card for Chilwell for his reaction. Chilwell says, how is that a yellow card for me? And I think Wolf has got away with it.
I'm not sure. I think Wolf got one as well. I think he seemed to flick his wrist twice, the referee, at both players. But as you said, stay away from all that sort of stuff. You don't want to get involved in it. Yes, you waste a little bit of time, but you cannot.
6 minutes of added time. Long pass from Dortmund to the edge of the box. Schlotterbeck is up there, but Fofana went with him, and Schlotterbeck could only head it directly straight at Kepa, who was able to field it quite comfortably. We've got 4 minutes of added time to play. This is a big night in the making. It's a potentially big night for Graham Potter and his Chelsea team. This Chelsea side on this dreadful run, really, for them, having won 1 of their last 7 matches. They've won 3 of their last 16. I mean, for Chelsea, by their recent standards, that is woeful. But big night tonight. Guerrero, though, for Dortmund. And then Bellingham in. Oh, and Kepa juggled it. He juggled it, but then he caught it at the second attempt. And Schlotterbeck was right there, but he managed to grab it.
Yeah, just looking down at Bellingham, who crossed that. He kind of sliced across it. It almost ended up catching Kepa out on his near post. Slice cross towards his goal. He's just taking his time with his kick, but he's just got to do a little bit better with his kicks, because it's kick 2 now, straight back to Dortmund.
West Brom have beaten Wigan, Lee. That Daryl Dike goal has won it for West Brom. Chelsea 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. Dortmund take the throw back towards the edge of their own penalty area. That noise, that drum beat, they're the Dortmund fans. They've not given it up, rightly so. Need just this one goal that would take it to extra time. Koulibaly gets up high, wins a header against, and then it bounces away on the halfway line for Pulisic, who's away from Chan. Gallagher wants it through the middle. Chelsea fans on their feet in front of us, but Pulisic actually is going to take this to the corner flag. Might have been shoved over by Chan. No, referee says that's fine. They can play on. Guerrero rolls it across the back line and make it 90 seconds to play. 90 seconds of the 6 minutes to go. That's how close Chelsea are to knocking out Borussia Dortmund, the team second in the Bundesliga. Wolf, long, high and forward, headed by Bellingham, and then to the edge of the box where Royce heads it forward. Fofana knocks it up in the air, could have cleared it on the edge of the box. It's knocked across the area by Zakaria, by No Gittins. His cross is deflected along the edge of the box. Then Guerrero with a shot that's deflected wide and behind. It's a corner to Dortmund, and the players in yellow shirts are exhorting their fans to get behind them at that end. This could be their last chance, Lee Dixon.
Well, it's frantic stuff. You just need a little bit of a calm head in there, just to put your boot through it and clear your lines. They're all thrashing it everywhere, and they've got a corner.
Guerrero to take the outswinger to the near post. Sula can't get under control. It's out to Chan, 30 yards out. Now Reina, right corner of the box. Reina's ball in, header by Wolf. Goalkeeper's come up. Wolf with another chance, deflected straight at the goalkeeper, and Kepa catches it in front of his face, drops on it, and they are all congratulating Wesley Fofana for throwing himself in front of that and taking the pace off it.
Well, it was a brilliant block. There was bodies everywhere. The goalkeeper was up. It was all 22 players in the box. Fofana was the one who just dived in front of Wolf's shot, and he just flicked off the ground and went safely to Kepa's hands.
We're in the last minute now. There are only seconds left. Chelsea nearly there, and they've got the ball at the Dortmund end, and then there's a foul on Chilwell by Wolf. And the two of them are at each other again. Chilwell's gone down. I think he's made more of that than there was. And he gets up, and Wolf didn't like that. And Chelsea and Chilwell are, as all teams do, they're trying to wind up the opposition, and now Chilwell's actually pushed Bellingham away, and I think Bellingham has told Chilwell what he thinks of him and what he thinks of his antics there, and a yellow card for Cucurella. I'm not sure what
he just went over to pick the ball up, got a yellow card. Bellingham trying to pick Chilwell up, who didn't like it, the fact that his England colleague was trying to get involved in something, and they're just trying to get the game restarted, Dortmund, because they know this is the last gasp.
That's it, Lee. I think I make it that's your 6 minutes have been played. So now it's all about how much Danny McAlee is going to add on here.
Well, this has got to be a little short free kick into the corner flag. They're right on the point of the penalty spot. Just take it to the left. The Chelsea players congregating around that left-hand side just to take it to the corner flag and waste the final few seconds. I'm pretty sure that's what will happen.
Yeah, do something a little like Manchester City did against Newcastle last weekend. They take it short, just as Lee Dixon prescribed. That Dortmund are able to come out. I think they've got a free kick actually in there. This has to be the last attack.
Yeah.
Time's up. Dortmund are going out. Chelsea are going through. They've managed to get the 2-goal win that they wanted. Unless Chelsea though coming forward. It's played forward to Pulisic just outside the box. Flicks it out to the left-hand side. Loftus-Cheek, if he's got any sense, he'll keep it over there. The referee has another look. Still we play. Chelsea have got it on the left. Ball bounces out of play. It's a throw-in. A yellow card being shown to Bellingham. And something I think might have happened off the ball.
No, that was the challenge on James.
Oh, yeah.
And when the referee played advantage, the ball went to Pulisic and he played advantage, but didn't forget that Bellingham had taken a little bit of a whack on James's shin, and he's gone down. He looked quite hurt, actually. Yeah. But again, more seconds ticking off the clock.
Reece James just coming back tonight. That was big for Chelsea, big for Graham Potter. And any moment now, you'll hear Stamford Bridge. People are on their feet. They know that the whistle's coming. Chelsea have got the ball down the Dortmund end. And there it is. Chelsea have done it. Graham Potter turns to Edin Terzic, the Dortmund coach. They embrace, and there are real celebrations down there for Graham Potter and his staff. He walks onto the field now to his players who've come up with the result tonight just when he needed it. He might have thought, Graham Potter, that this sort of experience might never come for him, and he is now being celebrated there. One of his staff jumps into his arms, the players, there are hugs. They know how much this means for the under fire Chelsea manager, who's only been in the job for a few months. Terrible run that they've been on, mid-table in the Premier League, but Graham Potter's Chelsea are in the last 8 of the Champions League, and Borussia Dortmund, who've won their last 10 matches, have been beaten 2-0 tonight, and Chelsea, with those goals from Sterling and the controversial Havertz penalty, have been able to turn it around, Lee Dixon, and we've got scenes of joyous celebration inside Stamford Bridge.
Well, it's a brilliant performance, it really was, and I'm really happy for Graham Potter. He's taken an awful lot of flack over the last few weeks, and it's a really together feel about this Chelsea side tonight, and they've got to carry that forward now in the Champions League, but also in the league programme. If they fight like this every week and play like this every week, there's no reason why they can't climb up that league pretty quickly. And everybody has played the part tonight. The tactics were right, the back three looked solid, the left-hand side, Cucurella and Chilwell was brilliant, and I think all round they fully deserved this win tonight. And Dortmund, yes, they had a couple of injuries, they lost a player early on in the game, but didn't have enough for this Chelsea side.
And they have not seen too many scenes like this at Stamford Bridge in Graham Potter's time. Chelsea 2-0 winners on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. And and Kelly, this Wi-Fi that I've been having problems with all night has actually chose to freeze at the moment. The screen was showing a shot of Todd Bowley giving, I presume, his partner a kiss in the box on the far side of the ground. It froze at that point, which made it look as though they were having a lingering kiss together to celebrate Chelsea's big night and the night that they've got through to the last 8 of the Champions League.
If it's not Todd Bowley's partner, I'm sure Todd Bowley's partner will be in touch very shortly with the man himself. But he's watched Chelsea reach the Champions League quarter-final after beating Dortmund 2-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. We'll hear more from Lee Dixon, from Mario Melchiot and from Raphael Honigstein very shortly. But first, John Murray, we've been hearing madness on the loudspeakers at Chelsea. There's been madness on the pitch for Graham Potter's side, who have gone one step beyond.
Yes, 2-0 winners on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. I'm not sure how many, even of the Chelsea regulars who came here tonight, thought that they were going to be able to do this. This Chelsea team who had won only 3 of their last 16 matches in all competitions. And the problem was they'd not scored 2 goals in a match in 2023. Hadn't done it since December the 27th. But they were able to turn it around. Crucial moment before half-time when Raheem Sterling, who'd struggled in the first half in all honesty, actually missed his shot initially, but the crucial break of the ball back to him, he was able to put it in the back of the net. You know, the first goal in this match was going to be so important. Sterling was able to get it. And then the drama in the early period of the second half when a harsh penalty award for handball. It was a VAR decision. You know, it could have gone either way, but it was given. Kai Havertz, Chelsea's newly appointed penalty taker, stepped up after a long delay. He hit the post. He missed the penalty, but VAR stepped in again. There'd been encroachment. It was retaken. Havertz again stepped up, went the same way. Goalkeeper went the other way again. It was in the net. And despite Borussia Dortmund's best efforts after that, Chelsea had done it. They'd got the 2 goals, and they're through, and Dortmund are out.
We will come back to that big decision, but Lee Dixon, Graham Potter has been telling us that the performances were coming from Chelsea, that maybe the luck hadn't quite been going their way. But tonight, they got the performance and they got the luck.
Yeah, I think you make your own luck, and I think he had belief in this team. They've got to continue with this now, Kelly. It can't be just a one-off Champions League night. They've got to take this onto their league performances week in, week out, the training ground, work hard, and somehow find a way of playing. They found one tonight. The tactics were absolutely spot on. The back 3 worked a treat. The left-hand side was stronger than I've seen before. Cucurella had one of the best games I've seen him. Chilwell was brilliant on that left-hand side, pushing Dortmund back. The midfield was solid. I think they just... something clicked tonight, and I think maybe the Champions League music before just got the crowd going, got everybody going. Dortmund played the part in that as well, but I thought they played the hunger and the desire that they had tonight. And as I said to John during commentary, I haven't seen an awful lot of live games from Chelsea of late, so I don't know. You get a real picture and a feel of a team when you watch them live, and watching them tonight, there's no way that they've been playing like this every week, because if they did, they would be zooming up that lead, because everything was right. Everything they did tonight, they got a bit of luck. I don't think it was a penalty in my book, but they got a bit of luck. Then they had the retake of the penalty. That's luck. But sometimes you don't get them either. So I think they rode the luck again tonight, but they created 5-6 chances in that first half where they could have quite easily been 3-0 up at half-time. But they went on to the second half and got that second goal, which was crucial. It just gave them a little bit of a breather to be able to just sit back and soak up what Dortmund were going to throw at them, and they didn't have enough.
Yeah, luck, as you say, maybe in the decisions, but definitely not a lucky victory for Chelsea in that game. Mario, they are into the quarter-finals. In this difficult season for the club, with all this change, they've found themselves at this stage of the biggest competition for club football.
Oh man, this is a perfect time to be in London, I think. You look, when it comes to this, you know, when you have moments like this, like what Lee said, you know, they had the luck, they were riding it, but also go back to the times where they were unlucky. There were moments where, you know, you look at Potter, you're waiting, even I myself, I was like, wow, man, in my time, Potter would have not been where he is right now in my time, because they would have changed so quickly. But now that the owner said keep believing, keep holding on, we're building something new, keep believing, and now they get to this point. The only thing is what we all will say, look, this weekend we got a wake-up call, you understand? I don't want to mention that game, but what happened in Manchester against Liverpool, we know that wake-up calls are really close to us, so we have to remember, this is a great result, but we should not You understand? Jump too high. This is something great to build on and see what you can do next. But to achieve this for Potter, this is great. The game against Leeds was one of the ones that we were waiting for. He had to win, and then this one he won again. And how he won it, they looked comfortable. They knew what they were doing, regardless if they were playing against a strong team, because I felt like Dortmund really turned up. But still, they managed to push it over the line and got the 2 goals that people were questioning. 27th of December against Bournemouth was the last time they scored 2 times. Wow.
Before we get to the overall play from Chelsea in a bit more detail, Lee, we have to deal with that drama around the penalty. I mean, as John outlined it, the penalty was given for handball, which you've already said you didn't think should have been given for handball. And then there genuinely was encroachment for the penalty that was retaken after Kai Havertz had hit the post from the first effort. That handball, describe it and explain why you don't think it should have been awarded.
Well, the thing is, the ball got switched out to Chilwell on the left-hand side, and I think it was Wolf who goes over to close him down, and he gets pretty close to him, probably about two yards away from him to close him down. Then Chilwell decides to try and whip the ball around him. As he takes the cross, he hits it pretty hard, and Wolf turns his body away from, it's an instinct to sort of protect yourself a little bit, and his arm turns with his body, and it's not way out, sticking out like a sore thumb, for want of a better expression. It just goes with his body, and it sticks out, and it's I don't know, a foot away from his body. And for me, when they talk about the silhouettes and all this lot, I understand when players are throwing their arms up in the air and trying to block the ball. That wasn't the case. He was just turning away from the cross, and it hit his hand. It's not, I'm a defender. If I do that in a game and I'm given a penalty against, and then the point of the thing is, VAR have said to the referee, I think you should have a look at that. So it becomes a subjective thing. One person is saying it's not handball, the referee didn't give it, and then the next thing, the VAR is saying it's hit his hand. In my opinion, that's a handball. Is that a clear and obvious mistake? No, it isn't. So I don't think it should be given on that front either. But it was given, and quite rightly so. The penalty's retaken after the miss because of encroachment. So they've no complaints about that. But certainly, the first thing that the Dortmund players did when the final whistle went, 5 or 6 of them surrounded the referee and were obviously talking about that incident.
Mario, I can see you look like you're agreeing with Lee and that, even with your Chelsea hat on.
100%. I agree with Lee, man. What he's saying, it makes so much sense. Because, look, when you play the game, you don't want things like that to happen to you. You want to play the game. You don't want people to tell you, like, oh, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. Look, we're defending the game. We got 2 arms. And as long as we don't use them in our advantage, leave the game to be played on. But now, we got 2 referees in the game. We got the ref on the field and we got the ref that's getting help. I call that help. So we are players. We don't get any help. We just want to play the game. So I don't agree with that situation as well. Look, regardless if I'm a Chelsea guy, you understand, and I want them to win. No, I want the rules to be fair. And then, of course, they got the other rule is with the goalkeeper. He moves too fast, and that's why he overtook it. But one thing I want to say, if a player is capable of missing a penalty and then retaking it and then staying that cool and that focused, wow, I have a lot of respect for you. Kai Havertz, what you showed us there was mental strength. That is what we talked about before the game, but he was on a level of mental strength that nothing shook this kid. He blowed out what they always do, they blow out the air to, readjust themselves, because you see the great ones do it, at penalty taking. I mean, for example, Ronaldo does it, everybody does it. They release and take it, and he did identical to that. And he took it so cold.
Mario as well, he missed a couple of chances during the game, and there was a little bit of pressure on him. Every time he went through, you got a sense that the Chelsea faithful weren't convinced he was going to score. So to actually pick the ball up again and take that penalty, I completely agree with you. I was worried for him, and believe me, I'd blow my air out of my cheeks when I've been taking penalties, and it never worked for me, I can tell you that.
He said to TV Kai Havertz, he said, I tried to wait, look at the keeper, and I saw he was going to go again to that side, so the second one was a bit easier. So he takes that kind of stuttering run up, doesn't he? And then waits. The keeper made his decision, and Kai Havertz went the other direction that time. Raheem Sterling talking as well, saying it was a massive performance. We had to dig deep. We took our chances. Tonight we knew we could do it. And Mario, as Lee's already reflected on, this was just an excellent performance from Chelsea. And even with Raheem Sterling's goal, he took a swipe first of all, missed the ball, and then he had a chance to go again. The way he took it the second time round was excellent. But even though they were the defining moments of the game, they were the goals, the scoreline was reflective of Chelsea's overall play.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, we've been talking about before the game that you need more players than only Havertz that we were focusing on. Sterling gets the ball. We know Sterling, Sterling in his good moments, and then, I always said that when he came to Chelsea, it was like, whoa, this is like a steal, you understand, allowing him to leave City and coming here. But then you're waiting for him to do things like this. He scuffed the ball first, then he readjusts. But the thing was, the way he struck through that ball was pure, I want it, I'm going to show you, and the confidence was in that. Well, normally, at the situation where Chelsea is right now, they're not that confident, but he did it well. And then I have to say, look, overall in the game, the only thing I had, the question was, when you look towards the end, there was a moment where Dortmund got the ball back in the box, and I think Wolf it was, ended up striking. But there were like 3 players totally free. And I worried a little bit, because if the ball went there, it could have been a totally different outcome. But clearly, that ball didn't drop for one of the 3 of the Dortmund players. And Wolf struck the ball totally wrong, so it was a good one. But eventually, wow, just the little details I think Chelsea has to work on. Because we saw it at the away game with Ayami when he ran at, Fernandes. We just want to make sure that Potter works on his little details, that we don't get any surprises. Because I think that's going to be really key if you want to focus on good performances like they did today.
Raphael Honigstein, broadcaster and writer, joins us now. How will Dortmund, do you think, see this game? As a missed opportunity, or just sheer misfortune to come up against the Chelsea side in this rare form?
There is an element of misfortune that Chelsea have.
Good evening to Raphael Honigstein. There's a delay. Hold on.
Hello. There is an element of misfortune that Chelsea have picked up a bit of form just at a time when Dortmund maybe are ever so much dipping, ever so slightly. At the same time, I think Dortmund just came up short. Yes, Chelsea played well. They took their chances. They created certainly more chances than Dortmund. But there were little moments, little opportunities where I think Dortmund, with a bit more belief, with a bit more quality that was missing also on the bench with the injured players we talked about, could have done more today. They weren't played off the pitch. They were clearly the inferior side, but could have at least got that one goal that would have taken the game into extra time. So I think a reflection really on where Dortmund are. It's no disgrace to get knocked out by this Chelsea side, but over the 2 legs, I think Dortmund just came up that little bit short and will rue 1 or 2 missed opportunities to put more pressure on this Chelsea team.
I know you talk about the players who are missing from that Dortmund team, and they did have a couple of significant injuries ahead of this match. Is there an element, though, as you said, that there's a reality check now for Dortmund, who've been doing so brilliantly up to this point of the season? This may be just an honest measure of where they are.
Certainly in a European context, I think even in the Bundesliga, those 10 games, those 10 wins in all competitions have come with a bit of luck, with taking chances, with getting the breaks at times, but they weren't necessarily looking like a team that would sweep everything before them and win every single game. I think there is still quite a gap in terms of the quality, and when you are short those 2 or 3 players that a team like Dortmund cannot replace that easily, the goalkeeper, somebody like Adeyemi, 1 or 2 options to bring on, like Moukoko, for example, when you're chasing a goal and you don't really have any centre forwards to bring on, apart from a veteran Modeste, that's when I think you run out of steam a little bit. And maybe all the good fortune that Dortmund had amassed over the last 10 games just ran out a little bit tonight against a side that just didn't need to get that lucky. Chelsea were the better team.
Yeah, no, but definitely, Rafa, what I also understand is, like, when you go away from home, what was one of the crucial things was Adeyemi. I think Adeyemi's speed was really necessary now, in the sense of like how you guys were pushed back. Imagine you had a guy like that for a break, and I think you were something like some pace you were missing. And I felt like that's what Chelsea also took that advantage, in the sense of you don't have the speed anymore, now we're going to push you all the way back, because now we don't have to worry that much about your speed. What do you think about that, Rafa?
Yeah, we said before the game that Adeyemi is a huge miss because of the reasons you just mentioned, Mario. It would have been great for this Dortmund team. But to be fair, in the second half, when Chelsea defended quite deep, I'm not sure Adeyemi then would have made that much of a difference. It would have been better then to have a fully fit centre forward, a Giovanni Reina who's in top form, a Marco Reus who's more confident. You had too many players in these attacking positions, either not quite at their best or not able to come on when you needed them. And I think the combination of that was a Dortmund team that just was a little bit toothless, and you can't afford to be. You have to take all these half chances that present yourselves, and they had a couple, but they just didn't quite have the conviction or the quality.
Well, Lee, in terms of that Dortmund performance compared to what we saw from them in the first leg of this game, as Rafa said, that slight change in personnel, but was it slightly off from what you expected from them?
Yeah, a little bit, and I take it about Adeyemi not being there, but losing Brandt on that first, whatever it was, 10 minutes into the game, and when you see how Cucurella and Chilwell played on that left-hand side, they would have been pushed back by that pace, because he's in really good form. He's very direct. He loves to run with the ball. He can score a goal as well, and I just think that right-hand side just failed a little bit once he went off, and it just created a little bit of impetus down that left for Chelsea. So those two players with that pace, as the boys have been saying, made a big difference, I think. And they just looked a little bit under par, not quite as snappy as they were, and certainly in the first game. And Chelsea, as you said, they've hit a bit of form. I think Potter got the tactics absolutely spot on. The three at the back looked really, really comfortable. They weren't really pressurised that much. And I think overall it was just a really, really good performance from Chelsea, with hunger and desire and good tactical awareness. And on the flip side of that, Dortmund were just a little bit under par without their pace that they normally have.
Mario, as we've been saying about Borussia Dortmund, they are in second place in the Bundesliga. They're level on points with Bayern Munich. For Chelsea, their league position is a lot less comfortable. They find themselves in 10th place. They're 11 points off Tottenham and 4th, but they are through to the Champions League quarter-finals. What can this competition do for Chelsea's season?
Oh, this competition can do a lot for them. I mean, in the sense of like, look, we are talking now about how great he did, Potter, right? How he got everything right. Also what Lee just mentioned, everything stood right. It looked really like a solid team, and if they play like this, they could be way on a different level in the league. But if we go back before the Leeds game, we were worried about this situation because we didn't know what was going to happen. We were like, what's happening with Chelsea? They keep on losing. You don't know what to do. I remember my time where I had a moment when I was at Wigan. We kept on losing game after game in the Premier League, and then Jason's came, and then things got really the way that we wanted it to be. Now, they got 2 games now. They won the Leeds game was a big one, because that is full of confidence. Then this game, imagine at home, full stadium. Look at your owner. Your owner embraced his wife in a moment where you normally don't see things like that. But also for him, it's key that, Boli, that he saw that my team is winning. Let me tell you something. Look, people, we don't know. I live in America. Americans love winning. It does not matter what they do. They love winning, guys. Don't ever get that twisted. I know English people love it too, because I came to your country and I love it. But there is no difference in that style. There are differences in culture, but there are no difference in both countries want to win. And that's why it was the question mark of how long he's going to wait. But he got the 2 games that he won. So let's see what they're going to do with the following up. Because the only thing they can win right now is the Champions League. And I'm not saying Chelsea's going to win it, but the only one that they can really make an impact is this tournament.
And there's a real opportunity here, not just for Chelsea, but for Graham Potter, Lee, as an individual, to get some degree of success in this first season and this first part season in charge of Chelsea.
Yeah, you always want to see managers put their ideas onto a football club, and normally they don't get time because the axe comes down, and a few losses here and there, especially at this club in recent years. You know, you look at the history of Chelsea, and normally if you don't win enough games in a certain period of time, then that's what happens. But the owners have stuck by him and said, look, this is a long-term project. Let's see how long it is. And I think if he's given time, I said before the game, I do believe that he's a really good coach, that he's a good man, he's an honest man, he talks a really sensible game when he gives his interviews, and language we all understand. And I think if he is given time, and they do, I'm saying they have supported him, £600 million worth. But once he gets his ideas set into this club, and that does take time, I do believe he will be a success here.
It's not a bad time, Lee, with that kind of amount.
Yeah, I know.
It brings with it a very different kind of pressure. Lee Dixon and John Murray at Stamford Bridge, thank you very much. Thank you as well to Mario Melchiot, and thank you to Raphael Honigstown, all of you, for your company this evening as Chelsea advance to the quarter-finals of the Champions League with a 2-0 victory over Borussia Dortmund on the night, a 2-1 victory on